Lazy Susan spin around. Topics lifting off the ground. Movies, music, games, and TV. Stay tuned and you will see.
Hello and welcome, everybody. We have a wonderful and awesome episode ready for you guys, prepared for you guys today. I'm looking forward to it. We are got big things planned. You know, it's our late night show, so hopefully we don't catch you snoozing. And I hope we keep you entertained and that you guys find us amusing. And as always, thank you for choosing TheLazySusan.
He came at it with
Dr. Seuss.
Ow!
Hurting right now. Let me
Just
tell you
bit
that.
my toe because of
As
how
always,
you
I am
felt
Adam
about that.
Nitzwick, and I'm here with my brothers. They are cold-hearted, but they have the hottest of takes. I'm just joking. I love you, brothers. Derek and Todd, as always.
Yo,
How
yo,
you guys
yo.
doing?
What's up?
Just lovely.
Best intro of
Yeah, that was the greatest. That was the best.
Definitely did not have that prepared.
Yeah,
No, that
was
was off the top
Down
of the
at all.
dome.
I like it. I
I
respect that shit,
appreciate
man.
it. I wanted to give some more flavor, give some more oomph to the start of our, or at least the start of mine.
Hey,
But
man.
anyway, yes, we got plenty of things to talk about today. We got some big movies to talk about. We got some TV shows, new games coming out that we need to talk about. We got
Got a little bit of music too.
and we got some things we're kind of like I wouldn't say necessarily late talking about. It's just last time we went live was last week Thursday, and there was a big fight that I know some of us watched, and I know it's kind of late to talk about, but I feel like there's some little highlights within our own viewings that we can talk about in and within ourselves and share with everyone. But before we get to that, just want to push the envelope of saying hello and greetings to Derek and see how he is doing today and what he's been up to.
Yeah, man. I watched The Perfection. That was what was on homework. I did watch 2 episodes of Don Da Don.
Okay.
So I'm halfway through that
man,
season.
you probably didn't get to that really. Oh man,
I didn't see nothing super crazy yet, so probably not. But it's pretty cool.
I still didn't watch the newest episode, but the episode before that, soul crushing. I just was waiting for you to get there. So but
Yeah, you said that before, and I mean, you're probably right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just
I'm looking
so
forward to
far where we're at. Like, I'm not attached to anybody. Like, any of these characters can go, and I'll just be like, oh, okay. But it is super early, right? So
right.
we'll see.
Anything else going on aside from those?
No, man. I mean, everything that I've been consuming is just what we're going to be talking about today. Linkin Park, the movie. Still playing lots of Black Ops, man. Oh,
Right.
Not almost. Let me take a little step back. not almost. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Already here.
I had a chance last night to finally beat Todd in Madden, right?
Oh,
And I was on the drive, and maybe I could have won, but my internet cut out for all of a minute and a half and kicked me out of the game, and then put me right back in. Like the internet came back up after the game was already.
your internet provider had money on your game.
Yeah, they said not today, and I was the Raiders, and Todd was the Chiefs. And I know that means nothing to you, but anyone that watches football knows that that's a feat in itself. The game was very much like the refs of the NFL. It had Todd's back the whole time.
Oh,
So much
okay.
bullshit was going his way.
Probably
Straight
the most
bullshit.
realistic game of Madden, then, huh?
Yeah. Oh, hands down. And yeah, I was in the position to win the game. Not saying it would have happened, but I had the opportunity to take the lead with very little to no time on the clock, and we'll never know.
Guess we'll never know.
Yeah.
Fair
It's
enough.
unfortunate. It was right after suffering a horrible loss to him. So
As per usual, eh?
as per usual, I keep notes.
I'm joking.
I take note.
Yep, I have them all tallied up. He's got 23
All
to
right.
my 5. It's disgusting. It's
That
embarrassing.
is crazy. Yeah.
You might ask yourself, Derek, why do you keep doing it? And I guess you could just say I'm addicted. I don't really have much of
Addicted
another
to the
answer.
pain
Pretty
and
much.
suffering.
Pretty much.
Right on. Well, Todd, how are you feeling? How's your victories going?
I'm chilling.
Big
Just
chilling.
a lot of work this week. So same here. I haven't been able to watch hello. Haven't been able to watch anything. No, I kicked my wire.
I'm just joking.
Haven't been able to watch anything new aside from the stuff that we've been consuming. I didn't even get to rewatch The Perfection, so I'm hoping you guys remind me of some crazy stuff that happens in there that maybe I forgot, but
We'll talk about it.
I got my
feel like-
notes.
I love that Adam takes notes, and I kind of want to start doing that, but
I didn't, but I feel like I just watched it this morning, so it's like fresh, you know?
all of this being said, Adam, you absolutely have to go first today.
Okay, that's fair. I actually,
for sure.
Yeah.
yes. There was okay,
Yes.
good. I'm very cool with that
Yes.
because I actually wanted to for one of the movies. So
I have had very little time to do anything else, so just been playing a little bit of Call of Duty in my free time. That's the nice thing about Call of Duty when you don't have fucking any time to do anything right now, and it's still a grind. That I came to this conclusion on one of the episodes prior in this series. I was just saying I love games that you have to grind, and Call of Duty is a big grind. Any which way you play, zombies, Warzone, multiplayer, all of it can be a real big grind if you want to like just flex and show that you've done a bunch of stuff. So it's really nice to be able to have a game where I can feel like I'm actually working towards something, even though I'm only getting in and playing for 30-40 minutes every time I can play. It's like, oh, I only play for 30 minutes, but I was able to unlock 3 camos for this weapon or whatever the case may be. So
Yeah.
pretty good feeling. But yeah, same thing. Only been consuming the content that has been assigned.
right on. For myself, I feel like I've been a madman in a lab studying ancient ruins of how to get videos to pop off and handle the social media of our platform and this and that. And I feel like I'm going crazy, but at the same time, I am hungry and I'm persistent. And I just want to keep on going out there. If you guys have seen any of our newer videos, I've been posting like crazy. I'm trying to get used to putting at least 2 shorts a day, which was already kind of a struggle because I like to do like my nice little fun edits, and that takes a lot of time. And there was times where there was a lot of days where I wasn't able to get 2 of them off in a day. I could only mainly get 1 off in a day while handling my day-to-day life. And I started using some AI to edit some of the videos. I'd still go through and like edit the beginning of it and edit the end, and then I push it out there. And so far I'm like kind of happy with that. You guys probably have seen a couple of them already, and do you guys think they seem pretty decent? I mean, I feel like they're really nice for people who want to just jump in and see what we're just talking about instead of getting like a nice spectacle with my other edits. And man, this editing and going at social media and having a platform is no joke, man. It is not for the faint of heart. You truly do have to be persistent. You can't give up. You just got to keep on going at it. I feel like I'm just flailing at sometimes, but then I have like some good flails and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep on pushing. And I think that's the motivation and way everybody has to go about it. You know, we're all kind of like in the same pond when it comes to this.
Yeah.
So it's a fun beast to tame, but it's also, it could be discouraging at times, but I'm going to keep a good attitude about it. And exciting. I've been pushing the envelope, testing new things. That's why I said I feel like I'm in a lab. So for everybody today, I got a new thing I'll be introducing to the channel, kind of to give it more structure while we're doing our podcast. And that's when we start talking about movies. I'm going to do one really quick right here. So it's going to cut out our faces, but it's a little like intro to our topic. So when we rotate to movies, it will go followed with at the bottom of the screen, we have a movies tab that will pop open. I am going to redo that because I think there's a better way to structure it, but right now it's good. It works.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be pushing these new little.
It's a nice segue.
Right.
Nice
And
segue,
it keeps people who maybe just want to know about the movies that we're talking about. Like, yeah, I love these guys, but I love when they're talking about movies, or I love when they're talking about music. And then they can like scroll through the video, or, you know, there's timestamps, but like not for every platform. So like maybe for our X, there's not timestamps, but they can at least scroll through the video and go, okay, he's talking about movies right here. So he'll probably be talking about what we want to see today.
Cool.
Also, guys, when I uploaded the little videos before going live today, I was on Twitter, Instagram, and X. And really quick, I just want to say we might have people jumping in the chat calling us stupid, but go ahead.
That's fine. Did you already put your kids down?
I did.
Tell Ava I said happy birthday.
Derek, he beat you. You're a horrible uncle.
No, I suck.
He beat me.
It was so funny.
Birthday to my oldest child.
It was funny because mine was playing I don't know, Roblox with her or something on her iPad, and she was like, "Did you know that it's Ava's birthday tomorrow?" And I was like, "I did know that." And she's like, "Yeah, are we gonna go hang out with them?" And I was like, "Probably not, man." That's cool.
That's sweet though.
Yeah.
But where was I going before that?
You said
sorry, just had to shout out Ava.
Todd, damn. No, yeah. So I posted on TikTok and I posted on Instagram and X, and on all three of them, I said something different on TikTok because I was like, hey, look, guys, I don't want to be begging for follows, but hey, if you want to check out our channel and if you like what you see, give us a follow. We would love to go live on TikTok. We just need 1,000 followers. So that's kind of like the angle I was going with.
Who's going to be calling us? Why are they calling us?
I said, feel free to jump in the comments. Let us know if you like what you're seeing, or if you think we're dumb and stupid, feel free to let us know as well. So if we on off chance see somebody jump in the comments and go, you guys are fucking stupid and dumb, don't be alarmed. I kind of asked for it.
Yeah, that's
fine. Exactly right. That's like any and all interactions is good.
Yeah.
So it's what we're here for. The entertainment, keeping it lively.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I watched. Okay, so I probably had the most homework out of both you guys, since you guys already seen the other ones that you recommended.
Yeah.
So I watched
one movie. You watched two.
I watched The Perfection, and then I watched. This one was my own homework, but eventually, well, I'm hoping to get you guys on it at least before next week, Thursday, is Arcane season 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch
Todd,
it.
Stop rolling your eyes. Oh man, there's so many things I want to say to you, but I feel like if I say them, you're gonna personally hold a vendetta against me to not put it up there. So
it's really good, Todd. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
For people who don't know, that's from Avatar: Last Airbender. This is the riot, the prison riot. He's like, did you do this? And he's like, oh, it's so good. It's beautiful. So anyway, Arcane season 2, from what I have seen, so since they drop it in 3 acts every week, 3 episodes for the first act, 3 episodes for second. So the next 3 come out tomorrow, which is crazy.
And those are the last 3?
Those are the last 3.
Okay.
And bro,
damn,
this last
did it quick.
Yeah,
and this is the end of it.
It's just three weeks arc. Of three weeks.
3 weeks of Arcane.
Yeah.
And they're all 9 episodes. Yeah, just 9 episodes. First season.
Is this
episodes.
The end of Arcane as a series?
Yeah.
So the way it's so yes, it is, but they're talking about it being just the end of these people's story. So
right.
We'll go into it.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Right. And man, they are tugging on the heartstrings with some of this shit. The way they can invoke emotions straight up through music videos that just push the story forward is insane. They were just like handed a script to like, how can we make this into a music video that really tugs on people?
Oh, Heavy as the Crown is part of the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
and
that's
it's a different version.
dope.
It's a different version. It's like a slower and more epic, and it's still sung by them. And I was like,
that's like Enemy from Imagine Dragons. They did the same thing.
Every single song.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Every single song from the first season was an absolute banger.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. And man, Todd, I need you to watch that show. I think you'll be just as hype, if not more. But with speaking about that, I would love to, we can use the segment thing to talk about.
Segment thing.
Talk about Linkin Park's new album. Am I right, fellas? Boom! We're talking about music now. Isn't that cool?
That's so cool.
I was really excited to put that together.
To this channel.
Hey, I'm glad.
Soon enough, we'll have a Steam Deck where we can just all put in
Oh
our
my
little
god,
fucking
I
things.
dream about that. You don't want me with a Steam Deck. I just be spamming.
You don't
shit.
want me with a Steam
I'll be hitting
Deck.
everybody with our dad's iconic line
Who the hell did this?
over and over instead of having to scroll
classic.
down and do that. All right, so we're talking about Linkin Park's new album. Was it a hit? Was it a miss? What do you
All
think,
right,
Derek?
I
I think Derek's gonna be the most critical about it. So
am. I think. So I'll go in first. I'm gonna go ahead, and if I have to give it a rating, I'll start with that right away.
look at him.
I'm gonna go
There you
ahead
go.
and give this album a solid 6.2.
Okay.
That's
All
higher
right.
than I was expecting.
Yeah,
Honestly, same here.
I broke it. I listened to this album 4 times. Right.
Oh shit!
I have. So not counting the intro because it doesn't
That's
count
it?
as a song. Yeah, just 4
Those
times.
are rookie numbers.
Yeah, pump those up. So you got, what is it, 8 songs, actual songs?
10.
No, 10. Sorry, 10 songs. 4 of them didn't like at all. 4 of them I did like. 2 of them are just meh. So the ones that I really do like are The Emptiness Machine. That's a
Obviously.
banger. Yeah, Heavy as the Crown.
Obviously.
I Gave You Everything I Have.
Yes.
Yeah, that one was dope. And Good Things Go, the last one. Loved the last song.
Really?
I loved it. I was like, it's a dope song.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just surprised that. Go on.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I really like those. I didn't like Cut the Bridge at all. These 4 I just I dislike. It's not that I don't like them, I dislike these songs. Like I was just like, I'm not about it. Cut the Bridge, Over Each Other, Casualty, and Overflow. Didn't care about those songs. Didn't like them. Don't want to ever listen to those again. And then the 2 that are just okay are Two-Faced and Stained. My problem with Two-Faced was, it was like, okay, here's our Hybrid Theory vibes. And I got those vibes right away. Mike Shinoda's like his flow, the mute, like the instrumentals and everything was great. And then what's her name? Emily?
Yeah, Emily Strong.
When I have nothing against her, but when she started singing, it just took me out of the Hybrid Theory that I was feeling like attuned with, and it just felt weird. I don't know. It felt like it was trying to be like, all the other songs were fine and like gave me Linkin Park vibes, but this one felt like it was trying too hard to be Linkin Park without being Linkin Park, because again, she's not Chester, and I know that Chester isn't like, I know that Linkin Park isn't just Chester, but I don't know, something about that song I just didn't like whenever she was singing. I was like, I feel like this should be Chester. I don't know. It just gave me a weird feeling. I didn't like it very much, but it's not to say the song was bad. I'll still listen to it. Maybe I'll like it later on, but it's not my favorite. And then,
So would you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no. Stained, real quick. It felt like a Lady Gaga song featuring Mike Shinoda. Yeah, it was okay. That's all it was. I was like,
That's
okay,
crazy.
this just sounds like it could be Lady Gaga with Mike
Amanda was in the comments. That's my lady. She said I should be excited, and why not, for my new segment, since how I did it, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Mama. I just heard her audibly laugh from the other room. Love you.
But
All right.
yeah, no, I mean, I wanted to like it more. I'm excited to hear more music from them. I'm when they drop a new album, if they do.
You said what, 6 or 6.5?
6.2.
Oh, 0.2. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Todd, do you want to go next, or do you want me to go next?
Go ahead, Adam.
All right, I give it a 7.5. I liked it a lot. There was maybe just a couple songs that I just wasn't a big fan of. I agree with Derek. I think out of the newer songs that we haven't heard already, Good Things to Go got me. I absolutely love that song.
Mm-hmm.
It was a banger. And Stained was my second favorite out of the newer ones we haven't heard. And I was like, what
That's
are you
crazy.
talking about? I really like Stained. Overflow was cool. And Cut the Bridge was pretty good.
I like Cut
Yeah.
the Bridge a lot. I'm
Yeah.
surprised at that.
Cut
that
the
you
Bridge
don't
is
like that.
I dislike it the most. That's the one I just
Wow.
can't get with. I couldn't do it.
I think we unfortunately did get the better songs revealed already. Like,
Yeah,
obviously,
100%.
which is
Yeah,
fair.
and rightfully so. They had to hype up the album to get
Right.
people to listen to it to
Yeah.
pump those numbers up, man.
Yeah.
Real quick, so I heard obviously Emptiest Machine and Heavy as the Crown. What was the third song that was released before the album dropped?
It was the
Over each other.
Over each other. The one where
I
she's
didn't
just
like that one because I know I
Yeah,
didn't listen
that
to it.
one I
I
wasn't-
didn't listen to the third song,
Right.
but yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, so that was it. I gave it a 7.5. I really enjoyed it. I'm very excited to see where they go next. They are going on tour. I'm kind of like, maybe I should peep that out for next year. I think it's around summertime next year. They'll be in the Milwaukee, Chicago area.
Do you have a favorite song?
It's actually, I don't know. It's either between Emptiness Machine or Heavy as a Crown because both of them hit so hard.
Yeah, for me, it's between Emptiness Machine and Good Things Go.
But Good Things Go is like right after.
I really like that song.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, those are definitely my top three.
For sure.
yeah.
Todd, so what are you gonna give it rating wise?
I'm there with you. I'm at like a 7.3. I liked it
Okay.
a lot. The only song that I can say that I genuinely did not like I could care less if I ever hear it again, was Casualty. That is my least favorite song on
I
the
agree.
album.
No, it wasn't good.
I'm all for people trying new things. I'm
Yeah.
not hating on anything, but screaming Mike Shinoda was not for me.
It was
just not for me. So
It was so
when I
funny.
first heard this, I was like, do they have someone else on this? And I was like, no, that's fucking okay. All right. Like, all right. Yeah, that was the only one where I'm just like, every time I listen to the album, I'm like, okay, I can actually skip this song.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think it's pretty solid beginning to end. Like, you cut out Casualty, you go from beginning to. I love Two-Faced. I think that song is great. It feels very good with giving it that Linkin. So I think I talked about this on the first couple of times when they were just releasing singles. Like, I like how they're doing it to where it's like, yes, they are Linkin Park. Yeah, you're getting that little bit of hybrid theory, but I feel like they're paying their respects to Chester by doing that, but also like, hey, we're still progressing and going in our way that is going to be formed with Emily being in this band. So I'm completely okay with her doing the singing and whatnot. And I think maybe I'm more okay with it just because I enjoy her voice, which is a very big part of it. Like, she's got a good voice. I don't mind her singing. I don't mind her screaming. Either which way it goes well for me. So yeah, no, Casualty is the only one that I do not like genuinely I could do without.
Mhm.
And as far as my favorite ones go, it's hard not to say The Emptiness Machine. Like, that song is
so good.
It's
So
just
good.
perfect. And it's probably because of the part that feels like Chester is in the song.
Yes.
Like,
Sure,
maybe
yeah.
that's what it is. But yeah, it's really hard to not say The Emptiness Machine.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
It was funny because I was talking to Haley about the album, and she's part of the group that's like, she feels like they should have changed their name. Like Linkin Park died with Chester kind of thing.
Right.
I don't agree with it, but I understand people that have
I
that
understand
mentality.
that, but I agree.
Yeah.
I don't
agree with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if they did that, a lot of people have been like, well, they're just trying to be Linkin
They're just
Park.
trying to be Linkin Park, right?
Yeah.
So, but I played Casualty for her, and when Mike Shinoda started going off, she was like, "Oh no!" I'm like, yeah, no, it's not great.
Yeah. And I hope we don't get more of that.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
getting
no,
more
they-
Linkin Park. I hope we don't get more of that. But
Yeah. And
We'll see.
back to Two-Faced, I respect the sound, and I don't want them to deter away from doing that. I want to like it because when I first heard it, I was like, "Yo, okay, this is dope. This is dope. The song's
yeah, the
going on."
flow between Mike Shinoda switching to the heart. Yeah.
And then when she came in, it was just one of those things where it was like, "Oh, I really wish that was Chester. That's not her fault. That's no one's fault, right?" That's why it's just, I don't know. I can't get that out of my head every time I listen to it. I'm just like,
Ooh.
man, this would be so much better if it was Chester. And it's like, that's not fair. So that's why I can't say it's a bad song, but I do I do enjoy it. It's just, it gives a bad taste in my mouth.
Fair enough.
Right on. So anything music-wise you guys wanted to talk about? I know Derek briefly we talked about listening to the new Denzel Curry album. That was pretty awesome. That was actually really great.
Dude, it's so good. I can't stop listening.
Todd,
to
did
it.
you listen to that new one? Or
I'm
no?
surprised that you like that, Adam. You're into
Denzel Curry?
that, that sort of like hip hop.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, I don't go out
it's
for it, but if
I haven't listened to the entire album. It has a lot of ranges on it, but like,
yeah.
I think it was like the first song or first two songs. I was like, okay, this feels like I'm listening to Suicide Boys, and then halfway through the
I agree,
album, it
100% on
changed to like actual Denzel Curry shit, and then I can't remember the.
It was like
last one.
Suicide Boys, Bone Thugs, the Denzel Curry. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, I like it. I love it.
Yeah,
It's
like
great.
he's going through, which I'm okay with. Like he has range. I enjoy Denzel Curry, but I'm surprised that that's your cup of tea.
Oh yeah, Hot Ones is probably one of my top played songs. Probably within the past couple months for sure.
Got to that one.
I love that song.
That's an early song in the album. You
It is.
probably heard it.
Right, because it was a single.
It's probably
And
like
that
the
one-
number 3 or 4
Oh,
song
yeah,
on the
yeah,
album.
Yeah.
with
That song, I love that
first.
song. And I don't think it beat that song. For me, I don't think anything beat that song. There was, oh crap, I forgot the name of it. There was one that got close though. I really enjoyed it.
I don't know what's
It was
my
like
favorite.
towards
I
the
keep
end.
on picking.
Oh, it was in the
different
Still in
favorites.
the Paint.
Still in
And
the
then
Paint
Derek
is
told
great.
me Derek told me the most depressing news. I'm listening to Still in the Paint, and I'm like, I know Hard in the Paint isn't like that doesn't mean Waka Flocka gets to have like this copyright on anything attached to it. But I was like, this song could totally use Waka Flocka right now. I just hear it with them like going, even just him being a hype man, just saying Waka in the background. I just felt it. I was like, this song feels like it needs it still. And then Derek was like, he's in the music video. And I was like, are you crazy? Why wasn't he in the song? Get him in the song. Like, it's cool that they brought him in for the music video, but man,
But like you said, maybe they're gonna have like a remix with him.
that would be great if they did a remix to Still in the Paint and they brought.
I
Waka
don't
Flocka
think it
out,
needs
like,
it, but I wouldn't complain about
Oh,
it.
it needs it. Needs it.
It would be great with it for sure, but I'm not sitting here like, oh, it needs to have that.
Oh, that's the only thing I thought of when I was listening. I was like, this song is going so hard, and I was like, it's so good. But yeah, I love it. It was great. That one was the only one I think came close to Hot Ones for me as far.
There's so many. I love the Black Flag. Sked is so good. G's Up, Still in the Paint. I love it. It was really good.
Absolutely. All right, but that was all I wanted to talk about. For that album, I don't even know what I rated. I think I only give it one listen, so I don't think I'd have a fair rating.
I give it like an 8. I can't stop listening to it, man.
That's fair.
Also in line with music dropping and all that good stuff, Coachella just dropped their lineup, and it is fire.
It was pretty crazy.
Do you want to read off any of them or no?
The headliners are Lady Gaga, Green Day, and Post Malone.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's probably why I've seen people posting about Post Malone recently. I was like, why are people talking about him? I didn't really read into it, but a
They
lot of people were
just released the lineup yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing people talk about.
Oh,
it.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it might be attached to it. All right, right on.
Yeah. Looks fire.
There's a song on Todd, the Creator's new album. I forgot what it's called, and I should know what it's called because they say it like 100 fucking times. But it's Tyler, Glorilla,
Sticky.
Lil Wayne, Sticky. That song, it's so dumb, but it's so catchy, dude.
I have one that
Ian's
I'm late
favorite
to the
song.
party on.
It's so good. Which one?
I gotta find the song right quick, but yeah, it's one that I'm totally late to the party when it comes to Tyler the Creator, and its song goes, it's very beautiful, and I was like, dude, this song fucking rules. Crap, where is it? Sorry, I'm looking at my playlist right now. I'm looking for it. Oh my
Is it
goodness,
Tron
load.
Cat? Just kidding.
No.
Never.
Oh my goodness, I don't know where to find it right now.
It's not his best song, so it doesn't matter.
What's his best song, Todd?
Oh, See You Again. Tyler the Creator and Callie. Yeah, that song. I love that song. It's great.
It's a good one.
I'm late to the party on that one, I know, but it is a phenomenal song. It's
What's your
very
favorite Tyler song, Todd?
I didn't say my favorite. I just said his best.
Okay,
What's
what do
his
you
best
think
in
is
your
his
eyes?
best?
We've talked about it.
Which one?
You know
Nice.
that.
Cucaracha?
No, fuck Yonkers.
I'm just messing with you.
Disrespectful. What song is it, Todd? I don't know. I don't
Potato
know.
salad.
Oh yeah, he did bring that up
Oh
before.
yeah, you did. Yeah, potato salad's great.
Yeah,
I still haven't
love
listened to
potato
that.
salad.
that was crazy.
I'll listen to it
Watch the music video first.
Yeah,
or not first, but just like watch
when you watch it.
for sure. All right, are we done with music, everybody?
Sure thing, boss.
Because we do got some segment for the video juegos. Let's jump into video games. Look at the bottom.
Hey, you know what Todd's waiting for. That might as well just say Elden Ring at the bottom.
Dang, I was gonna get into your favorite game first, Derek.
I'm just kidding. What is that?
You
Oh,
stole my lunch. You know what did the dude from The Office, Stanley? You stole my. When he's talking to when Jim takes his joke.
He's like, you stole my line, and now you still. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Like, damn it, Jim.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. You know what we're talking about?
Shove it up your butt. You don't remember that?
Yeah.
All right. I should have the line ready. I should have been better prepared on that. But is he ripping one? Did he mute his mic?
I was thinking that too,
bro. At least hide the face.
I didn't think of what the face would be doing. I was opening something.
Uh-huh.
I was. I don't want to.
That was so obvious.
It does look like that, and that's great. I hope you clip it and make it a fucking TikTok video.
I just might.
I know you will. And that's
right.
okay.
You better not post that on TikTok.
Because I know what I'm doing.
We can talk about Elden Ring before we get into Derek's favorite game.
This is the Elden Ring podcast.
This is the Elden Ring, right, Todd?
Elden Ring for the DLC is up for Game of the Year. There we go. We talked about Elden Ring. What do you want to talk about, Adam?
Wait. So Elden Ring is up for Game of the Year. The DLC is up for Game of the Year. Mm-hmm. How do you two gentlemen feel about this? Do you think it deserves to be on there, or do you think it does not deserve to be on there?
No, I'm not with that whole DLC and remakes being Game of the Year. It should, like we've talked about before, it should be a different segment. Best DLC of the year, best remake of the year. That just takes away from all these other, like your game didn't even get fucking nominated. That could have been nominated if fucking, what is it, Final Fantasy and Elden Ring are all in there and shit. Like,
well, Drova wasn't gonna ever get nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah, no, it's medieval.
Game, yeah, that's a whole nother story.
He's ripping it again. I'm joking. He's like, so what do you feel, Todd? How do you feel about it? Does it deserve to be on there?
It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm sure it's great. I'm not hating on the fact that it's a great DLC and it's probably one of the best DLCs to ever be created in all time, but that they're just giving it a reason to give Elden Ring Game of the Year again.
I honestly feel
if there's any game that deserves to win it twice, it's Elden Ring.
I am in the same boat with you guys.
That's what I was gonna say. If they're gonna be doing stuff like that, then we should still be giving Baldur's Gate Game of the Year.
Whoa!
Absolutely.
Call me crazy, but
crazy.
that game still should be getting flowers.
But
absolutely.
Did it do anything different like Shadow of the Erdtree? Did it add anything like Shadow of the Erdtree?
Yes. Are you kidding me? You didn't play that game when it launched? Playing that game now and all the fucking features they've added.
They are
and
up
not
for, like,
to mention
a developer, like I forget what it is, but like updating their games. They are up for that type of award this year.
But they're not up for Game of the Year, so fuck them.
Right. Go ahead, Todd. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say we're getting crossplay this year.
Yeah, when it comes to Elden Ring.
Oh, they're finally doing that?
Yeah, they said it should be out by 2024, late 2024.
That's crazy.
So fingers crossed it comes out before the end of December. You know,
that's what I'm saying. They got a month left, so
yeah.
But when it comes to Shadow of the Erdtree, yeah, I feel the same way. Should not be on there. If you can't play the game without owning, if you can't play that version of the game without owning another, like the base game, like it's not a standalone, it shouldn't be on there.
Absolutely.
As much as I love it, because I absolutely love it, and it is like probably one of the greatest DLCs I've ever played, but I just don't think it deserves to be on there. It's definitely robbing all these other games that probably deserve a shot to even just be nominated. That's huge for a lot of these companies, was just being
Their
nominated.
name out there, yeah.
And the craziest thing for me was Jeff Keighley, the guy who's in charge of hosting the Game Awards. So they drop all of this, and I think this is kind of more of like a publicity stunt, because then he immediately is posting stuff on Twitter going, hey, what do you guys think? What do you think deserved Game of the Year or not? And it's like he knows. He's like, what do you think is going to be Game of the Year? Like right after he posts it, and he's like dropping these like subtle little like, yes, I'm talking about Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree being on there. I want you guys to nitpick at it. Everyone's grilling him in the comments going, this shouldn't be on here. This shouldn't be on here. The majority of people, I feel, saying it shouldn't be on there, but he's just like, this is great, guys. What do you think should be on the next one? You know, and it's like,
it's a good voice.
You just address the elephant in the room. I'm sure it's going to get addressed during the Game Awards, but
so who are all the nominees?
I was gonna say, are we hoping that Wukong
further
wins
with you guys
because of that?
I'm actually cool with Wukong still winning. It won the Golden Joystick Awards that just happened.
Right. But that's my question is, do you think, and I know none of us have played Wukong, I really want to, but based on its impact and all the people that were playing it and everything, do you still think that it would beat Shadow of the Erdtree, or do you think Shadow of the Erdtree is going to run away with this?
I honestly think Shadow of the Erdtree is only on there. I'm being hopeful. I think it's only on there as a publicity stunt. I don't think they're actually being serious on there. There's no way. I just can't. Like, I would love to.
What do you mean a publicity stunt? Like they're going to take it away?
No, I think they just purposely put it on there so it would get outraged like it's getting right now that we're talking about it. People are talking about it. People are posting about it. It's getting, hey, everyone's now talking about the Game Awards. It's
what is that gaining from
any press is good press. That's the whole thing.
They're getting everyone already played Elden Ring in the Shadow of the Erdtree.
It's not about that. It's about getting people's attention to the video game awards. They don't care about anything else about other than getting their name out there. Yeah, it's a publicity stunt just to get more people talking about the Game Awards. So when the Game Awards drops, we'll have crazy. This might be the new record viewers because everyone wants to know if Shadow of the Erdtree will actually win Game of the Year. They hooked you. You know. That's pretty much what I believe it is.
Mike Tyson.
Exactly.
Bums.
So what I would like to do with you guys, we don't have to do all of them, but I thought this would be a great way with our channel to cast our little votes here.
Can you guys fucking stop, dude?
So we don't have to do all of them, but we can go for the couple of the bigger ones if you guys are cool with that.
Couple of the bigger ones it is.
Cast our votes for the 2024 nominees of Game of the Years. All the Game of the Year votes. Do you want to start off with Game of the Year, or do you want to leave that for last?
Sure.
Game of the Year. To what?
Game of the Year.
All right, we got Astrobot,
Black Myth Wukong,
Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Look at those last three.
Metaphor, Refantazio.
No one cares.
Dang.
Astrobot being on here is crazy. I'm sure it's great, but that's crazy.
Black Myth Wukong.
Okay. Well, yeah. Todd's like, shut up already. Pick.
We don't care about poker.
All right. Let me exit out, and then we'll go back to viewing categories, and we'll pick the next one. Which one do you guys want to go for? Best game direction, narrative, art direction.
Down the line.
Just click one, brother.
Okay. All right. Best game direction.
I've only played Elden Ring.
Derek, so what? This is the best game direction, though.
Yeah, right. Wukong.
Vision, innovation, and game direction and design.
Dragon Ball Z is based off this shit. Wukong. Okay.
All right, we'll go Wukong.
Yeah, we will.
And next category, best narrative.
We
are not doing Hellblade.
Hellblade 2.
It's Hellblade 2, brother.
It's 2-1.
Adam.
Okay,
majority
rules. I will vote. I will vote to majority.
Narrative.
I need to nitpick with one thing. Can I show you where I need to nitpick?
Sure.
Can I show you where I need to nitpick?
Yeah.
Sure.
For outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game.
I'm sorry.
Right. Storytelling and narrative.
A movie or is it a game?
This is a movie, guys.
It's a game. With storytelling like it.
Brother, you gotta ruin me, fellas. Am I really picking Hellblade?
Yes, you are.
Yep.
Oops, I'm joking. I hate you guys.
Yep.
I know. I hear Billy cackling somewhere out there in the distance. All right, best art direction. Guys,
Shadow of the Erdtree.
Chill.
Shadow of the Erdtree.
Ooh,
Well,
I'm
Adam,
gonna say
you're the
Shadow of the Earth
tiebreaker.
Tree. I'm
That's
gonna
right.
say Shadow of the Earth Tree.
Art direction? Come on now, bro.
Best score in music.
Oh, I don't fucking know.
My vote is for this because I've listened to some of the soundtrack and I was like, it's actually
But people
fire.
love Final Fantasy.
That is
Stellar
true
Blade.
too. Or Stellar Blade. Okay, so we're split. Is it a 3-way split right now?
So that means you got to pick Astrobot.
Ew, no.
It's a 3-way split. No one agrees on anything.
I'm picking Stellar Blade. I'll be
That's crazy.
best audio design.
Black Ops is on there?
Yeah.
Black Ops.
Are we picking Black Ops?
Bro, Rain in the Fire. What are you talking about?
No,
Best
audio
Oh,
design.
shit.
Joking.
Well,
It doesn't
I picked it anyway.
Well, that's crazy.
No, it's not. Black Ops 6.
It probably shouldn't deserve it because they selling that different like audio pack or whatever.
Definitely not Outlaws.
Yeah, definitely not.
we're gonna have to go Hellblade 2 on this
I'm
one.
going
Yeah.
Final Fantasy.
Hellblade
Damn
2.
you
That's
guys.
another Hellblade 2.
Dude, she went crazy. That performance?
You
She
know what?
walked
It didn't
around?
say game, so you know what? Fine.
Hell
She
yeah.
walked around.
It hurts you. It hurts you.
It
so
does. It does. It's
I
like
love it.
Recognizing
and accessibility.
software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience.
My 2 votes are for these two.
Call of
I'm
Duty.
inclined for Blops.
Okay.
Call of Duty.
I'm cool with that. Games for Impact.
Hellblade.
It's changing the game
It's
in industry.
Movie.
The game industry.
Exactly. We're making movies into games
you
and games
guys.
into movies.
I hate you guys.
Yeah, you do. Look at you. That's 3 times you voted Hellblade. You're sick.
I know. I physically clicked it. I feel disgusting.
Best ongoing. It's
Fortnite's
Fortnite.
gonna
Hell
win again.
no,
It's
Destiny. That's
Fortnite's
crazy.
gonna win again.
Fortnite.
Has Fortnite ever not won this?
What about Helldivers, guys?
No, Fortnite.
I'd rather play Helldivers than Fortnite, but
Dude, they
Fortnite
have
will
Jordans in Fortnite.
Oh
now.
yeah, did you see they put Jordans on
Crazy.
Cell and Frieza? It was
win.
hilarious.
Yeah, we were just talking
Great.
about that.
Best community support. We already know where it's got to go. This is the one I was
Baldur's
talking
Gate.
about.
Two Baldur's
Gate.
Gate. Yeah.
And it's we're not just being cheeky. I think the only one that would only hold a candle to it is Fortnite and No Man's Sky because they have done some amazing things. But come on,
Baldur's Gate.
I've seen some the craziest amount of like clarity.
Come on.
Clarity with the players when it comes to Baldur's Gate 3. They're like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. This is our plan. Hey, we hit this road bump. This is still our plan. And it's like, yes, I love it. And they're going hard. Best independent game. My Drova ain't here, guys, and that sucks. I really
Damn,
wanted Drova to
Your
make it.
game is ass.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
What
Okay.
what are
not
are
gonna
these
speak bad
games?
about it.
Drova's not as good as Animal Well, Adam.
So
Yeah.
Animal Well, I'm
Uh,
actually proud of that one because it's Donkey.
You're proud of it. What'd you do with
I
it?
haven't played it, but I'm proud that Donkey is his company. He created Big Mode right here,
Okay.
and this is their first game they released, and it did really well.
Pick it.
Pick
Alright,
it.
You guys
I
are cool
don't.
with
I
that?
don't give a fuck.
I
about
don't
this.
care about any of these.
Yeah.
Okay. Really quick, Balatro. This thing is crazy. This is a one dude who made this game, and it's just a card game, and it's just I don't. It's weird. I don't. Everyone keeps on saying it's super addicting, and it's like it feels really weird that they got that many. But I mean, like, hey, if it's that good, I guess it deserves
yeah.
it. But we're picking Animal Well. Oh, best debut in any game.
No, Todd loves
Manor Lords is there
Lord.
though, Todd.
Todd loves Manor Lords.
I do
I'll
love
go
that
for
game.
Manor Lords because I know Todd appreciates that. So
Game's fun.
best mobile game. Do you guys mobile game? AFK
Nope.
Journey, Balatro, Pokemon Trading Card Pocket Game.
Pokemon
I
trading
have
card pocket
friends that
game.
are addicted to that Pokemon game right now.
Really?
Pokemon
I
trading
think that's the
card
one that
pocket
they're
game.
doing. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
AR one. I
Pokemon.
always see ads for it when I'm playing Pokemon Go.
Best VR and AR. I don't know
Okay,
any of
hold
these
up.
on
So this is based on what I would want to do. Is it a zombie game? Arizona Sunshine remake?
Good way to put it, Derek. Yeah, it looks like we got a zombie game. We got like a fantasy game. We got Batman.
Arizona Sunshine remake for me.
Yeah, I would. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to be Batman in VR, but let's go with the zombie.
The zombie. Long, tan, and handsome. Best action game. I don't know why.
Well, I mean,
This
I
one's
played
actually
Black Ops 6.
pretty.
Well, I played Helldivers too, but
This
I
is a
love
pretty
Black Ops.
stacked list right here for action games.
My pick is Black Ops because
Black Ops.
I've only played that in Helldivers, and I'd rather play
Yeah,
Black
I was
Ops.
like, I'm probably not going to get anywhere with you guys on that one. You guys definitely love your Black Ops.
Where were you gonna go?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Still deciding.
Outlaws.
Yeah, right. I'm actually would give this one to Astrobot.
Astrobot, do it.
Best RPG. This is the only thing I think Dragon's Dogma 2 made on Todd.
Woo!
Shadow of the Erdtree,
Shadow of the Erdtree.
easily. Fuck everything else.
Best fighting.
Dragon
Yeah.
Ball Farm, just click it. Don't even ask. Just click it. You know Tekken's gonna win, right?
Best family.
Shut your dirty whore mouth.
Mario Party Jamboree. Come on now.
I'm
Mario
gonna pick,
Party?
Is that out?
It's
See,
gotta
that's
be.
what I thought too, but I guess it is. But my
It's
vote would go
gotta be.
for Astrobot.
Jamboree.
Family?
Jamboree.
Astrobot? It's a one-player game, isn't it? I guess I don't know.
I
what
thought
the
it was
second one-
multiple player.
The first one is
Okay.
one player.
Best sim and strategy.
Manlords.
Manor Lords, yeah. I haven't played Frostpunk 2 yet.
Manalords.
It's all trash.
Best sports and racing.
Wow, they don't have Madden on here. They're trash. I wouldn't vote
Dude, they got WWE though.
for WWE 2K24. Do it.
I'm cool with that.
Sure.
That's hilarious. They're like, yeah. Best multiplayer.
Black
Oh,
Ops.
yeah, let's just say that's probably a no-brainer right there. Best adaptation. Oh, okay. So this Fallout
Oh,
1.
It's Fallout. It's Fallout. It's
Dude,
still
I'm
Fallout.
Arcane though.
You're gonna pick Arcane over Fallout?
Absolutely.
How are you Arcane when you say it's not about the show? That's not an adaptation.
Faithful adapts the video. You know what? That's fair. That's fair.
It's
okay?
Fallout. It's Fallout.
It doesn't
It's
adapt
Fallout.
the
Just
video
click on Fallout.
game,
Just
but
click-
it is the
just click
best
on Fallout.
one.
Just
It's
click on
Fallout.
Fallout. Just click on
Fallout's
Fallout.
perfect.
There's 2 out of 3.
It's not perfect, but it is good. It won the joystick awards too, which I was proud for
Fuck a
them.
joystick award.
Okay, chill. Guys, please
It's
don't
Grand
do this
Theft
to me.
Auto
Please
6.
don't do this to me.
Grand
No
Theft
way,
Please don't do
Adam.
this to
Adam.
me.
You're drunk. You know it's Grand Theft Auto.
It's Grand Theft.
For the majority, I'm more excited for Monster Hunter Wilds.
Okay,
I
yes,
really
okay,
am.
okay. Put it on the
Okay,
record.
well-
Put it on the record. Put it on the record, and then click on Grand Theft Auto 6.
I hate you guys so
Yeah,
much.
you know the answer to that one. Get the. fuck
I'm
out
more
of here.
excited for Grand Theft Auto 6.
100%.
It's
Who the
queso,
fuck-
right?
Oh, queso. Yes.
Queso.
I love the
That's
picture they chose
hilarious.
for him too.
It's queso. Fuck
I don't know if
everyone
they
else.
chose him or if he just handed them this picture and was like, "Yeah, put this one on."
Oh, that's great.
USADA's gonna win, but queso.
Esports game.
I
Don't care.
Probably
care.
Valorant. right?
Valorant. Yeah, go Valorant. Fuck League. Even though I want to watch Arcane.
Keep the shows pumping.
Oh, no
Best
one
esports
cares.
athlete,
No one
Faker.
cares.
Faker. I
Sure.
see edits on him and he's cool as shit.
Cool.
I don't really know much else
It's a
about him.
stupid award. No one cares. No one cares.
Best esports team.
Billy,
Faker's
Billy.
on T1.
Billy.
All right, Todd, what do you want? Billy or T1?
Navi.
Ooh. Okay, go T1 then.
Hey. All right, that's it. We did them all.
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to make sure we did that segment there. I thought
Yeah, that was a good segment.
All right, so we're going on to the next category, brother.
All right. What's our next? Are we going into the movies?
Oh, we need to go into the movies.
Oh my goodness. All right, guys, get ready for
Can't wait to hear
some
Adam
wild
hating.
reviews. All right.
Adam's gonna give a 2 and a 2.
And if you jump,
Oh, I looked over at Anne at a point in the movie and I said, Adam's going to absolutely hate this movie.
Oh, during the substance?
Yeah.
What I told
All right.
you. I was
All right,
like,
hold on.
Adam's not
we're gonna be
gonna
talking about movies now, everybody. We got this new segment that we warp there, okay? All right. Peep the bottom. We're talking about movies.
talking about movies. Let him hear
That being said,
from Adam.
we're gonna do our reviews and our takes on the 2 movies that were assigned to us over the week. And that was Todd recommending The Perfection and Derek recommending The Substance.
That's right.
And they said they wanted me to start it off. So I want to start it off with The Perfection.
Oh.
All right. The Perfection, I gave a 6 out of 10.
That's higher than I expected. Yeah, that's I thought he was gonna say like a 3 or a 4.
The Substance is gonna get a 3 or a 4.
Honestly, I was happy with that first twist in the movie. That one impressed me for the Perfection.
With the drugs?
Yes.
Yeah, with the hand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
one got me too when I
Oh,
first
sorry. Wait. Spoiler alert. Spoiler warning. We are going to be talking about The Perfection and The Substance. So if you haven't seen those movies, sorry. If you don't want to hear about them, we're going to be talking about them. Maybe come back later. I don't know. I feel bad saying that, but I guess it is what it is. But if you haven't and you don't care, cool. Or if you have, feel free to jump in the comments and let us know, or if, like, what you thought about certain parts in the movie or whatever. But we're talking about The Perfection right now. So in The Perfection, I gave it a 6 out of 10. It had I would say kind of like a rough start for me, as far as the main issue that stuck out with this movie for me was the writing and acting. I felt like at points where I was like, it just feels like not quite there. Like, now I'm not saying they're horrible. I just feel like some lines weren't delivered right. And the other like times when the 2 characters were talking to the 2 women characters were talking to each other, it sounded like an AI almost bouncing questions off each other instead of like actual genuine reactions to how somebody would be talking to somebody. It was like this, and the other person would pause for a little bit and then say this, and instead of like it didn't feel fluid. It didn't feel fluid. And I was like, I felt like that was kind of noticeable to a point where I had to like write it down. And I didn't really tend to get picky about those things, but there was a couple times it popped up and I was like, okay. But I would like to start off, when I watched this movie to begin with, I went into this movie thinking, I was like, what is this going to be about? And then I saw the first guy throwing up. I was like, okay, it's going to be like an infection movie. Like, we're dealing with like an airborne pathogen. And I was like, okay, so it's going to be that type of movie. Going into the movie, as things start to unfold, I was like, okay, this is getting really weird. Like, okay, so this is really like a big airborne pathogen illness being spread everywhere, and this girl's dealing with it. She's like, she's not, I wouldn't say, what's it called when somebody's like the first of being sick? Patient zero. Zero. I wouldn't. Yeah, at first I was like, she's not, clearly not, because we saw somebody else being sick. So I was like, so this isn't that, but maybe she's the patient zero for this story as far as their journey together, because they go out to a rural area, and I really thought the story was going to continue on from there. That first twist definitely threw me for a whim. I was like, oh, as I was watching it, I was like, what? I even wrote down, I was like, WTF. I was like, that actually caught me off guard. Leading up to that, though, when she was like arguing with the bus driver, when the girl was sick in the back, when Liz, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Liz was sick in the back.
Remember names.
And she's talking to the bus driver in English the whole time. I'm like, he clearly doesn't understand you. You need to stop. Like, either
you're supposed to be freaking out though. Like, you're
right.
Gonna nonstop talk.
But there was like a throwaway line I truly thought she was going to end up using while this was happening. And that was, before they even got on the bus, she was like, oh, why aren't you just using emojis to talk to people? It's a lot easier. And I was like, oh, she's going to use an emoji to be like, hospital, sick, stop, you know? And
well, at that point, she was talking to the guy that there was a guy that spoke English on the bus.
These were my issues before I saw the twist. Because after the twist, you can technically throw all those issues out, because she intended all this to happen.
Yes.
So yes, after that happened, I was like, oh, she's a psycho. And then I was like, watching her,
gotcha, bitch.
I was like watching her in the kitchen. I was like, okay, like when things started to unfold, the girl, as things happen, you have Liz, who's should we be explaining a little bit of the story for those who just don't care and want to know? You have 2 talented, what are they? Cello? Is that cello players?
Cello, yeah.
Yeah, phenomenally. They were taught their whole lives to be like prodigies. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You have Liz, and what was the main?
Like the 1%ers of the 1%ers. Like,
absolutely, they go through a rigorous like training to get to where they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the main actress's name in the movie.
I don't remember. Was it like Charlotte or something?
Charlotte. Let's go with that.
I'll double check, but go on.
So
The mixed chick or the white girl?
the white girl.
Okay.
Although I did, right when I saw
It's Charlotte. It's Charlotte.
when I was watching this movie, I saw the white girl. I saw the two girls, and I was like, these are the two leading actresses. I was like, and I saw like their teacher, and I was like, all right, he's a white dude. I was like, I bet you he's the villain. And I was right. I was like, I called
yes.
it. But I was like, come on. I was like, I had it. But that was like probably the only thing I called because this really derailed hard from where I thought the story was.
That's
going.
how I felt when I first watched the movie too. I was just like, I cannot keep up. Like there's just it's twist after twist.
Yeah. So the story, like the twist I keep on telling you guys about is in the beginning, two cello players, very talented, and they meet up. They haven't seen each other. They only met each other like once, and the main chick cannot recall. Is it Charlotte, Derek? Did you double check?
Yes.
Okay, Charlotte. Charlotte did not recall meeting her ever. But anyway, the Liz
I think
looked
she was
up to
lying
her.
about that.
Okay.
But
Liz
it doesn't
looked
matter.
up to
They
her.
walked past each other. It doesn't matter.
Right. It was nothing. It was not like a really big meeting. Anyway,
Yeah.
Liz looked up to her whole life and she built herself a crazy career, super successful. Then you go in this movie, they meet each other at an event, they play and they flirt, and then they have like a one night stand with each other, but they're like, we want to keep on going with each other. We want to go explore the world, or we want to go on this instead
Vacation.
of going. Yeah, they want to go on this like little vacation to rural China, right? They're in China.
I believe
Somewhere in China. Yeah, anyway, rural area in China, so their phones aren't connected and whatnot. So I totally thought this movie was going in a direction of, hey, she's sick, she's patient zero in this story, and she's gonna have to be dealing with this woman being sick her whole life. But that wasn't the case. It turned out that Charlotte the whole time was drugging Liz, and it was a hallucinogen that gets umphed by alcohol, and Liz was drinking a lot. And she was seeing things. She was gaslighting. Charlotte was gaslighting the hell out of her into believing that she was seeing things, and to the point where they're walking out in this rural area because they got kicked off the bus for being too rowdy and panicking and freaking out.
And the one was sick.
And Liz was sick and throwing up, and she got gaslit. Yeah, she got pretty graphic. Liz got gaslit into believing bugs were coming, and you actually see this too, so it kind of gaslights the viewer into believing this as well, that bugs are coming out of her arm and whatnot. And since she's an esteemed cello player, her arm matters a lot to her. But Charlotte was like, dude, you need to cut it off. Like the bugs are coming out of your arm. So she grabs that and
knife
does
came
not
out of nowhere.
hesitate. She does not hesitate. As a butcher's knife, it's a cleaver damn near, and she does not hesitate. Chops that son of a bitch off, and you're like, dude, this is crazy. Like at first I was like, dude, this is weird. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, bugs coming out of people's arms and throwing up bugs. This is so weird. And then, like, right after that happens, right when she chops off the arm, it like does like a rewind. It's like, actually, this is what happened, and it shows Charlotte drugging her, like, gaslighting her the whole time. And I was like, okay, I was not expecting that. That was crazy. And as we go on, Liz goes back to her esteemed I want to say like it's a prestigious home with a prestigious main guy who takes care and teaches all these people how to play cello to the T, to perfection, absolute perfection.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes back there and hopes that he can kind of like take care of her. Big surprise, he can't, and he doesn't want to because she's a burden now. She can't play cello. It's not worth her time.
Yeah, he's done with her. She has no value.
So she's pissed. She's like, this Charlotte took my arm. I'm out for revenge. I want her dead. So she goes and meets her at her home. And at first I was like, dude, she's got her guard dropped hard for somebody that just did something like this. Like she's just chilling in her house making something. And then she gets jumped, knocked, or damn near knocked out. And the next time you see her, she's bringing Charlotte back to her master or master teacher. Right. Or whatever. Her sensei. Anyway. And because he really was infatuated with Charlotte's ability to play.
Yes.
And probably more. Okay. Hinted that. Anyway, as the story went on, there was got pretty like shortly after I was like, dude, she's a psycho. Okay, this is crazy. Then I'm seeing things play out, and I'm like, when she brought her back to the dude's house, I was like, they might be working together. And then I wrote that down, and I was right on that. But those dudes were weirdos, man. That shit was crazy. Like, there's a weird house. It did get into the weird territory of where you think it would go with a bunch of like men teaching these girls to play, but they got
trigger warning. I say,
Yes. But yes, and dude was like thought his like area of where you would play cello. He had like a whole little stage set up, and he's like, you're godly when you're presenting right there, and you need to be able to play perfection because then it's the closest you get to God, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Something along the
it's
lines
like
of that.
all the four walls. and,
It's
like,
the
way-
perfect room
Yeah.
for the acoustics. It's supposed
And
to
where
sound,
she would
and
get
when you play
scarred.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and where she would get scarred in her life when she was learning and getting taught, she would play there, and when she wouldn't hit lines perfect, then they would do stuff to her, and she is scarred from that. So she's back at the home with Liz. Liz at the time, we don't know that she's working with her, but I assumed so, but rightfully assumed so. But anyway, the story goes out that he's making her play again. He wants her to play perfection again. Gets her to play. I didn't hear any missed notes, but I'm an untrained ear, or maybe it didn't matter anyway at the end. But they end up starting to attack her, but then you find out that Liz has been working with her, and they get these two other henchmen to drink poison, get them out of the picture. This is where I was like, this is really weird, because their tag team that was not well thought of at all. They had the drop on the main guy, and they still fucked it up. Like they were getting their ass whooped, and they even Charlotte even lost an arm.
So brutal. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Oh, when she got stabbed through the arm.
Yes.
That was crazy.
Okay. So yeah, so like the movie in general, I was like, it's like a 6 out of 10. Like it was pretty good. I wasn't too disappointed. I wasn't too like excited, I guess, right? There was moments I really gave
Did you like the ending?
The ending wasn't too bad. I do have some, I wouldn't say nitpicks. That CGI absolutely was rough on the main dude after he got like chopped in the
Nubby
I was
McNubberson.
like, the CGI looked so bad. It looked like he had like marker drawn on his eye. It was really weird because so the main guy gets they don't kill him. They torture him. They cut off his legs and his arms. They sew his mouth shut, right? And his mouth shut and his eyes. You can only hear. And since each girl was an esteemed player, they both lost an arm on the opposite side. I said I really liked the yin and yang of the missing opposite arms. I really wish we could have heard them playing. I'm sure that was really bad because I'm pretty sure they were just torturing him.
That's how I anticipated that too. Like they played it off key
audio
on purpose because he
really.
Yes, yeah. I was like, that's
imagine they did it perfectly.
Oh no,
Why would they give him a show? They gotta torture him. Yeah,
I thought, and that's why, because he has tears going down, right?
Yeah, I think so.
At the end, yeah, I remember. I was like, oh yeah, they're just playing it off key, just like fuck you. We're playing it off key.
That.
Yeah,
that's
how I saw. I was like,
there's
like a big fuck you to him at the end.
Though, all right. So then some other nitpicks I had. The wig reveal was totally unnecessary with Charlotte. By the way, I have short hair. I was like, big whoop. Okay. And then the other thing I nitpick was, like, although I like the yin and yang of them playing the cello with each missing arm, I felt like it was a last minute idea they had. They're like, oh, that'd be cool. And I say that because that last attack they did on him was so rough. I was like, it felt just off. And I feel like that's the reason why the last attack was so rough, is so they could have the moment where she does lose the arm, and then they can have that yin and yang moment. It's a nitpick, and it's like, it can't be proven or disproven, but that's the way I felt about it. But altogether, not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it wasn't the biggest. I wasn't that excited.
You thought it was going to be bad?
I wouldn't necessarily say I thought it was going to be bad, but when I started going into it and it was just this sickness thing, I was like, this is going to suck. That's kind of because I was like, the acting already sucks, and I was more upset with the writing than the acting. But I was like, this writing is really fucked, and I was like, if I have to listen to them constantly do this type of dialogue with them complaining about bugs and stuff in their arms and shit, I was like, this is going to be rough.
Sure.
I'm happy. Like I said, that first twist definitely won a lot of points with me. But aside from that, 6 out of 10, I'm very happy with that number.
Okay.
Derek, did you want to? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so for the perfection, I give it just barely a 5.5. If anything,
Adam liked it more than Derek.
Yeah.
Whoa, I was not expecting that.
I appreciate when they attack, I appreciate the revenge story. It's just, I don't know. So let me go into this by saying Todd has recommended this movie before. He recommended it to my wife, who told me about it after she saw it years ago. I forgot about it. And when he said, I want you guys to watch The Perfection, I was like, sounds familiar. I think you recommended that to Haley. Haley told me about it, forgot everything. And as I'm watching it, things are coming back to me. I'm like, oh, I know about this. I know this is about to happen. So some of the things I understood, like I knew, some of the things I didn't. When she cut off her hand, I knew that was about to happen. I remember Haley telling me about it. Now, that's neither here nor there. My problems were my biggest issue was when he threatened to assault the younger girl that was there. So one part that Adam didn't or maybe forgot to add to it is when he brings Charlotte into the room after, you know, it looks like Lizzie's against her or whatever. They force Charlotte to play. And he's like, if you mess up the same way that we punished you, which was SA, we're going to do it to this other girl, because he had another girl already signed up to be in the program, and he was going to teach her.
Another child.
A child, because that's what they did. Him and these two other guys, they did this to children. So he threatened, he's like, if you fuck up once, and she's going to be the one that suffers, not you. And it was a bluff. It felt like she did it on purpose, because she stared at him in the eye the whole time when she played the whole song. And like Adam, I don't know where the error was in her song. I'm an untrained ear, but he heard it. And the way she stared him down, it almost felt like she did it on purpose. I don't know if she was calling his bluff or what, but he sent the girl away. Luckily, nothing happened there, but I didn't like that was a threat to begin with. And just, I don't know. I don't like, I'm getting to the point where that trope I'm not totally on board with anymore. The whole this guy in power does this to a woman and then she gets her revenge. It's cool to see her get her revenge, by all means. I'm all for that. But it's just everything leading up to it. It was just so like when they show the flashbacks of her when she's a little girl and she's playing and she messes up, and he gives her this whole speech about why this is what happens when you play wrong. And then like he cuts out of the picture and then he comes back and he's like butt ass naked. And it's like, okay. It's really blurred out. They kind of blur it out, but it's just like, oh, okay. So he's a fucking pedophile. I don't want to fucking see this, dude. And they don't show anything, which is awesome. Like I'm glad they don't like go too graphic in it, because there's a lot of movies that get way too graphic with it and it's unnecessary. Yeah. But with this one, they don't do that, and that's cool. I applaud them for not getting too graphic with that aspect. Yeah. Exactly, you get the message. The acting in the beginning, I had the same problems with Adam. I was like, okay, this is like their conversations felt weird. Yeah. I've had the same nitpicks as you did with the beginning. I love the twist though. She's drugging her, because the thing that I thought, because I didn't remember before it happened, but like the whole time I'm watching her, I remember her from Get Out. So I was like, don't trust this white bitch. Like she's fucked up. And then she was drugging her, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember Haley saying she drugged her. Fuck that bitch. And then she was like, I was helping her, and I was like, oh yeah, wait a minute, never mind, because it switched again, and I liked that. But at the very end, the whole like he's just sitting there as a fucking just a torso listening, and they played him music.
Loved it.
I like the way you guys interpreted it, because I didn't for some reason. I interpreted it as they're just playing.
They should have let us hear it, and it was like,
that's what I was like.
Yeah, no,
that would have been better. I don't know why they cut the audio. And you just saw them playing. I was like, that's kind of whack. I do agree. Like,
I was just like, why are you playing music for him? I didn't understand that. I hated that his wife was just cool with it the whole fucking time.
Yeah,
like,
they always are, man.
They always are, and I don't understand that.
She was almost like a not even needed to be there type character. I don't think she really added anything to the story.
Yeah.
Aside from just being, wow, that's messed up that he has somebody who is okay with that, you know?
Yeah. I didn't hate the movie. I didn't love it though. I feel confident in the 5.5 that I gave it.
Okay. Yeah. What about you, Todd?
Yeah, that movie is like a high 7 for me.
Okay.
Like I give it like a 7-8. I love that movie. It's one of those things where like when I first watched it, same thing. I was trying to figure out what was going on. It was at a time in my life to where we didn't even read descriptions. We literally just like went through Netflix, clicked on a movie, and they're like, "This is what we're watching right now." So that's how I came across it, and it was me, Ann, and Jacob, and all three of us throughout the entire. I think Jason might have been there too. All of us, we were like on the edge of our seat every time a twist happened. We're like, "What the fuck? She cut her own hand off? No fucking way! What the fuck is going on? Like, this bitch is crazy. Yeah, get her away from her." And then again, it flipped again. We're like, "Wait, she is on her side this whole time? Oh my god, what the?" We were yelling at the fucking part when it wasn't known that they were against each other. The part you already knew that they were all fucking sick fucks in there, and she was about to get nubbed. Oh my
dude,
God.
that was crazy.
I was like, I was still so convinced. I was like, she's on her side. She's on her side.
See, I didn't know that at that point.
Yeah, props to you, because I didn't expect that either. At that point, I was like, what the fuck is this movie?
Yeah.
This shit is crazy. And so, yeah, if anyone hasn't realized it, I like dark shit. I like dark shit. That's just me. I'm sorry. And I also have the luxury of not being a father of girls, so I don't have to have that like
so that's probably
outlook that you look at it like, oh, that's really fucked up. Like, yeah, I think it's really fucked up, but I don't have to like think of somebody I love in that position, if that makes sense.
So that's the issue. And like Adam will understand what I'm talking about with this. That moment where the nub shit was about to happen, first episode of Don to Don. That's like the feeling I already explained to you, Adam, why that I had an issue with that part, that first episode.
You're not alone. Like, a lot of people feel that
right. And you can't argue that, right? Like it was weird. At the very least, it was a weird scene. And I got the same vibe, not to the same caliber, because in Don to Don, she's like a 15-year-old, where in this she's a grown-ass woman. But like it was the same similar kind of vibes where it's like, this is really fucking uncomfortable. Like, what the fuck? And then, like you said, like the dudes get poisoned, and then it's like, okay, all right, cool. It wasn't as bad. And that's the same thing that happens in Don to Don. Like, nothing terrible happens. It's just the leading up that's horrendous. And then, they get out of it and they do their badass revenge thing, right? And I'm all on board with that. But it was just everything leading up to it was just like, dude, I'm not about this right now.
It's surprising that you feel that way about this, but you enjoyed Blink Twice. Because it's, I mean,
that scene I wasn't a fan of in Blink Twice.
Yeah, I prefer the perfection.
Yeah, that was fucked, obviously. It's the same premise of the movie, though. Like,
sure,
and these people being taken advantage of by rich people in power.
Yes. But here's
blah. Revenge at the end.
Here was the difference with the two, was that when in Blink Twice, it happened so suddenly. Like, you understood what was going on, but then like when her memories start coming back and it cuts to that moment, it happens real fucking fast, and like it's turning her around, hitting her, and like all the other, then it shows all the other girls what's happening to them and stuff. And at that point, like I was like, whoa, this is graphic. I felt uncomfortable with it, but with Don to Don and with the Perfection, it's the whole like, she is strapped and there are multiple people around. Like there's like, shit's about to go down in a very horrible way. And it just felt super uncomfortable. And what was happening in Blink Twice was super fucking horrible too. And I enjoyed the movie because the revenge was more focused on, where we're like in the Perfection, the revenge, it happens, but it doesn't happen like as great, in my opinion. I don't know. I feel like the revenge in Blink Twice was better than the revenge in Perfection.
I definitely disagree with you on that, but that's okay.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. Fair.
I mean, there could be a little flippy floppy.
It is what it is. But like, again, those scenes are still, it's just, and maybe that's all it is. Like, I just watched Don to Don not too long ago, then I watched Blink Twice, and now I'm watching this, and it's like, okay, I've seen the same trope 3 times in a row now. Like, maybe I'm just over it at this point, but
don't worry, I'll recommend like Barbie next time.
Get the fuck out of here. You know what the fuck I'm saying.
I'm just kidding.
Don't fucking do that.
All right. So that's it for Perfection.
Yeah.
We gave our ratings. Oh, wait, Todd, did you give? Oh, you said high 7.
Yeah, like 7.8.
Gave it a 5.5. I gave it a solid 6.
I'm so excited. Let me hear it, Adam.
So, moving on, we are now going to be talking about The Substance. It is that movie with Demi Moore.
That came out this year.
That came out.
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid, yep. and then the other actress is Margaret Qualley.
Yes.
Qualley. All right. So now, going into these movies that Derek and Todd have recommended us, sometimes I've had to rent a movie with, paying for it. Sometimes I had to, like this one with Derek with The Substance, I had to get a free subscription. I had to go out of my way to go a little extra mile to get to this movie. And Derek, you should have told me to just buy the damn movie. That movie was an 8.5 out of 10. I forgive
That's amazing.
you. I forgive you for Long Legs.
Don't fucking say that, but
I
that's
forgive
amazing.
you for Long Legs. I was like, as I was watching this, I was like, you know what? Derek's
An
not a lost
8?
cause when he comes to 8.5.
That's so great.
So, The Substance. Oh my God, what a spectacle.
I wholeheartedly believed I was going to get like a 2.
So my thoughts going into this were it's going to be a Black Mirror type shit, which it
Kind of
was
is.
kind of like a Black Mirror
Kind
type
of,
shit.
yeah.
I was not expecting it to go where it was, and I am so happy it went to where it was.
It was so great.
This was a huge win for practical effects going into the new, this new day and age.
100%.
Especially when we see too much CGI nowadays. It's so beautiful to see. It is a resurgence of practical effects have been coming and going crazy as of recently. Even though I haven't seen it, and I do plan on seeing it, Smile and Smile 2, they used the practical effects for that monster, and that
Smile is
so
dope.
good.
I want to watch Smile too. Smile was cool.
So aside from that, spoiler alert, spoiler warning, spoiler alert for people who haven't seen The Substance. We'll be talking about The Substance. And to kind of give you a little summary before giving all my final thoughts, it deals with a woman, Elizabeth Sparkle, who is a celebrity and who even had a Hollywood star.
Yeah.
She did like workout videos, very popular. She was huge, billboards, posters, everything. She gets old. She's getting older in her day, and she's getting kind of like cycled out within her work, within how people see her and approach her. She's losing her beauty that she was so coveted so much. She loved her beauty. She tried to hold on as much as she can. She's been losing it. She ended up eavesdropping on her boss. They're trying to get her off of the program, the TV program that she's running, because she's not it anymore. They want to go with a younger candidate. So it deals a lot with her stressing about getting older and accepting her age. While I was watching this, I was not expecting to see that much of Demi Moore. That was a lot.
Yeah.
There is a lot of nudity in this movie. I was not expecting it.
Me gusta.
So, as Demi Moore's character, Elizabeth Sparkle, is going through the struggle of losing her beauty, getting older, she gets approached by a man who gives her a little USB drive, which really quick, let me segue really quick. What a weird time period in this movie. It's like one of those in its
Is
own
it in
realm.
the past? Is it in the future? Yeah.
You have USBs, you have flat screen TVs.
She plugged the USB into her flat screen. That was what tripped me out. I'm like, why the fuck? And Anne even said, she's like, yeah, it's a USB. What? I'm like, my first thought is plug it into a computer. What are you talking about?
Right. There's no smartphones. She gets her news from newspapers. I was like, this is a really weird, it's its own thing, which I kind of respect at a point. It's all right, Mom. It's kind of like its own little realm of a world. And I was like, that's kind of cool. But yeah, they don't really talk about it. So it's just something you kind of just notice. You're like, okay, that's not there, but this is there. So anyway, she gets approached. With a USB, she plugs it in. It gives her these instructions, or basically a remedy to being your old age. And its remedy it's called The Substance. And if you take it, it talks about how you can have a younger version of yourself, or a more beautiful, perfect version of yourself.
Yes.
At first, she doesn't want it. Then she sees more of the cycle of her getting older and not getting any younger. She eventually accepts it. She goes through with the process. You have to follow these instructions. She goes through, gets this package. She has to follow these instructions to a T. And the instructions are, what is it? You inject, right? The initiator, you initiate, or
activator.
Activator. Yeah. Thank you. You have to activate, and it's all syringes. So you have to pump this stuff into your body.
Yeah.
boom, you're getting yourself, you have to activate yourself, which starts the whole process of creating a younger version of yourself. Now, I wasn't sure how this would happen, and it was so brutal and beautiful. The scene that like the splitting scene,
it's so good.
The newer version of yourself splits right out of your spine.
Yeah.
And it was very visual, very body gore. There's body gore and body like horror, like crazy in this movie. So
visually, the movie's so like uncomfortable in a great way. Like they do it so well.
So she splits. It's very graphic. I was like, whoa. So she's got to follow these instructions, and the instructions, part of them are after you split, you have to trade off. There's a balance. You have to have 7 days in your new body and then 7 days in your old body. And so there's this trade-off that starts to happen, or she has to like learn how to do this. But in her new body, she sees her body back wide open. She stitches herself back up.
Pause.
And yeah,
where you're at right now.
Yeah.
To this point, would you guys, you don't know how crazy and graphic it gets and whatnot. Would you guys do it?
No.
No?
No.
So Anne and I were talking about it. Like, would you do it? I'm all for not doing it. From the beginning, I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Anne said she would do it. And all the way up until the point to where she had to go get the box, and then the door only opened halfway, and she was like, the door only opened halfway, and she's like, oh, by the way, I'm out. Like, I've been out for a while. She was like, I would have done everything up until the point of like going in. Like, she's like, I probably would have called and then gotten the address, and then I would have drove by to see what it looks like. And then as soon as I saw a creepy dark alley like that, instantly no.
Right.
Good for you, Anne.
Yeah, because like once again with the futuristic but also caught up in the past type stuff, they got a key card with a specific number. They are tied to the specific number, her specific
and
number,
RFID and stuff like that. Yeah,
scans it in, and it's like this really shady spot, and the door only opens like to your knees, so you have to kind of like duck under and crawl under those doors.
One thing Anne noticed was the writing on her hand was the exact same as the writing of the address above it.
Oh, I did not catch that.
Yeah, it was like the same handwriting.
But yeah, the way this movie was shot too is very cool and fun. I liked it, like, because there's like more serious tones when she's in her main body, at least at the beginning, and then when it goes to your younger body, it was very poppy, very fast, very the way it directed and the way people were talking and going. I was like, I kind of like that. I like that the direction kind of changed to kind of give you that feel of being in that new body. But the thing that I thought was crazy in her new body, she like some of the stuff like they give you like only like a sentence of instructions. I was like, how do you know what to fucking do that? It was like, you need to inject yourself with the 7-day supply. The 7-day supply is spinal fluid, and she knows to just tap that in the back and pull it all out, put it in another container, shoot it into her thigh. I was like,
yeah, there were some things. My biggest nitpicky things were that, and like, I know we'll get to it later when you're talking about the movie, when she builds the secret room. Where the fuck is this know-how coming from? How does she know how to do any of this?
What are you shaking your head for, Todd?
Everything. I'm glad that Adam said what he said about the perfection. He was like, oh, I had a problem with this until the twist happened. Every problem that I had with the movie, all of that shit that you said, like, I said the exact same thing. How the fuck do you know exactly what to do with all of this shit with like no fucking instructions? All of my cares for that went out the window in Act 3. When Act 3 happened, I was like, oh, none of the beginning stuff matters because this is the kind of movie it is. Okay. Great.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get
you
to
can
that.
go into further explain.
This movie is almost a 2.5 hour movie, so it's gonna be a little bit of a truck to get through and talk about. But I'm gonna do my best.
I think that's done on
in
purpose for like that visual shit. Like
that's fair. I mean, that's fine. But
go on.
What's done
honestly
on purpose,
probably why
how
it's not
lengthy
higher.
it is.
Yeah.
Because there's times where you probably have like 5 to 10 minutes of just like that heart that was on fire, you know?
Yeah. So here we are, new body, first time experiencing it. Once again, we see a lot of that actress as well because you're bare, you have no clothes, you're not coming out with clothes. So anyway, they come out. She comes out young, feeling great. She's going to go reclaim her job. She's going to go back to her job where they're trying to get a new younger person in, and she's the perfect candidate. She knows exactly what to do, what to say, because she's been doing that job forever. And she looks great now as her younger self, right? So, and they love her. She gets the job. She's back to doing what she loves doing, and she's blowing up. She's becoming just as big a star she used to be. What should we call it? So then she does her whole week process. Like I said, I like how the camera direction goes, and then she's time to switch. And that was funny because I was like, damn, when she switched, I better see when she goes into her younger self, she changes her name to Sue. So
Sue,
I'll be calling that younger version Sue. We'll calling the older version Elizabeth.
Mhm.
So when she goes back into Elizabeth, I was like, she's gonna be sore. And yes, I'm happy they depicted that and she acted that out, because I was like, you got your whole back split. Like, not a week is not gonna recover that. And she did immediately. It was like, ah. I was like, good. They showed that off. I like how I like how the direction changed. Lie about how she moved. Oh, okay.
We should go act by act.
Yeah. I'm listening. I'll be right back.
Was that the first act, or like what?
No, I'm just saying, like, you should give your thing on the act 1. Derek should give his thing on act 1. I should give act 1, and then because like it's gonna get real lengthy if we're just
yeah, that's true. I agree. That's a good point, because it should deserve to go through all that. Yeah. That's definitely sorry for anybody who's viewing like, oh goddamn, Adam's talking for 2 hours. Now we're gonna
no. I'm okay with that, but it's just I don't want to get to act 3 and I'm like, fuck, I really wanted to talk about that thing that was in act 1, and now I have to retrace that. So yeah.
So would you say this? I would say that's probably where act 1 ends, is like probably after the first switch, right?
Yeah, that's act 1. Once she comes out and she says Sue, that's act 2, because it says Sue on there.
Okay. So I went a little bit ahead, but
no, that's fine. That's fine.
While Derek's gone, since he's already seen this, you want to start sharing your? I'm sure he's listening as well.
Yeah. I'll just start from the top.
Oh yeah, start with your rating too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna start from the top, right, all the way from the beginning. We have our first on the show, first ever. This movie was a fucking 10 out of 10.
Dude,
this was an absolute.
I am so fucking happy.
Dude, no, from beginning to end, this movie was just it was art. It was beautiful. Oh my god, it was perfect. It has everything that you would need in a movie, in a fucking movie there. It was great. Yes, I went into it remembering very little of what Derek said about it, like, oh, I remember that it was about switching and whatnot, and I'm trying to go through this like if I was her and whatnot. So yeah, first of all, I would not do it. Absolutely not. I don't. I'm not a gambling person, and there was too much of this that was a gamble that I wasn't willing to do. So she had a good life. She was chilling. You're retired as the fucking on top of the world. Yeah, accept that shit. Fucking act 1. I love like Adam said, the way it was shot. I love the craziness of how the cameras were. I think we were like 5 minutes into the movie and I looked over and I was like, oh, this movie's going to be fucking weird. Like the way the camera angles are, like seeing stuff on the opposite side of the room, how it was following her down that street and whatnot. Like, I was like, oh, this movie is going to be fucking weird. Like, yeah, like disturbing weird kind of thing. Yeah. And I have no idea what to expect with this whole thing. We get to her getting the package and whatnot. I like that. Yeah, it's in its like own little dystopian world to where, like Adam said, it's like futuristic, but in the past kind of. Her whole fucking the acting in it also was phenomenal. Beginning to end. Demi Moore fucking killed it. Her anger throughout the entire thing, like I'll go more into it
with the food. So good.
Not specific. We'll go into it in act 2. Yeah, but all of that stuff, like they said, it was graphically insane to see that happen, like the coming out. And then I love how both times, or all 3 times actually, like the reveal in the mirror and whatnot, I was just like, oh shit, this is cool. Like the first person view and whatnot, like the camera movement, how they did it. I don't know who directed that movie, but bruh,
not sure.
Chef's kiss. Yeah. Fucking great.
Fantastic.
Go on, Derek. Go ahead.
No secret. I loved it. It's like, I mean, if it's not a,
I don't have much to say about act 1. We'll get more into act 2 and 3.
I don't know if I 9.9, 10, I don't fucking know. It was a great fucking movie, dude. We started watching it. Haley saw like people talking about it on TikTok or whatever, and she's like, "Do you want to watch this movie?" And vaguely told me like, "Oh, Slady, want to be like a younger version of yourself." I thought that it was like you were reverting to a younger version of yourself, so I didn't. Which we find out that's not really what it is. But
once we get into Act 2, I'm gonna give my synopsis of what I thought was happening.
Right. So we watch it. We watched like 40 minutes of it, and then Haley, it was like late at night, she started falling asleep, and then we had to watch it separately. She watched it, and she was texting me while I was at work, and she was like, "You have to fucking watch this movie." She's like, "I know you," and that she's like, "The ending. I know we'll get to Act 3 when we get to Act 3," but she was like, "That ending screams Derek." She's like, "You're gonna fucking love this movie," and I was like, "All right, bet." And God,
same
it's
here.
So good.
When I watched the ending, all I could think of was
good.
you.
It was so fucking good, dude. I love the ending. But yeah, no, the beginning, it's uncomfortable. And the scene that sticks out to me, and I don't know why, is when she's out to eat with Dennis Quaid, who's like her agent.
Bring that up.
And when he's eating the shrimp or crawfish, whatever the fuck, and it keeps zooming in on his mouth, and he's like eating. That's when I said like the movie's lengthy. The ending was.
And said that the ending was giving Derek for sure.
Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, no, it's that's why again I think that they made the length on purpose, because they wanted to make all this uncomfortable scenes, like watching him eat shellfish in like kind of slow motion, but like why is it? It's just weird. His mouth is open while he's fucking chewing on this shit. It's all over his teeth. It was uncomfortable. It was
made
weird.
It very messy.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't know, like we said, everything with Demi Moore, you understand how she's feeling when she's looking in the mirror, because like she's what she used to be and what she is now, and like she's looking at herself hating herself, and that's why there's so much nudity, is because she's just constantly looking at all her own flaws. So she eventually hits that breaking point where she's like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna do this substance thing. And then when the younger, new, different version of her comes out, she's also staring at herself naked in the mirror, just like being obsessed with how great she looks. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. I am very fucking like, I'm curious to see where this goes, because I know that there's going to be some kind of fucking like downfall. Like there's going to be some kind of side effect. What could this possibly be? What's the snowball effect here? I'm invested. I can't wait. And that's my emotions going into the second act. And I will throw it back to Adam at this point.
All right. So as we get to meet Sue and get to learn about Sue in the second act, her younger, more perfect version. There was something I didn't understand of why she just left her body there to begin with. That was one of the things I was like, get your main body out of there. I was like, why are you just chilling on the bathroom
said
floor?
The same thing. I was like, if that was me, I would have her like propped up on a bed. Also, after the first time of it happening, why aren't you in a comfortable position? They're standing up every single time, just letting themselves flop, like get into a bed and let it happen.
Well, after the first time, you don't really know what's about to happen.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No,
you did it. You swapped. You did 14 days already. You know, you dropped like that.
True. Sure.
Get into a bed, man.
Yeah, and it was like I think it was like the last day when she's about to switch back to her bodies, when you see her putting like a towel as a cushion under her head, or a couple days in or something. But she finally gives her some type of like cushion.
Finally
like,
showing some.
Take care of yourself, damn. You know, like what you call it? Then we get to like learn Sue and like see how things are going, and as things start to unfold, let me see if sorry, I just want to make sure I was on the right notes. But we get to see that Sue gets these positions, having a great life, and then she like does the dumbest thing ever. It's on her last day. She needs to respect the balance. It's a big thing in this movie that when they got the substance, the person on the other line of the phone who kind of coaches them through this whole thing, gives them the whole package, is like the person behind the substance, tells them to respect the balance. You need to respect the balance. You need to respect the balance. Constantly said that.
And
you can't exceed 7 days.
You can't exceed 7 days. But the other thing you always need to remember is there's two bodies, but you are one. Like
Yes.
it's still you. Like they make real big emphasis on that.
So she, like, on one of the last days of her being on her 7th day, she brings back a boy to her house, and I was like, that's so dumb. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's just so stupid. And she gets greedy. And she's like, you know what, I could take a little bit more. So instead of just going through her supply, she goes and spinal taps and pulls more of the spinal juice out to extend her duration, because you can technically extend it, but there are repercussions, and then we learn what those repercussions are. When she eventually switches bodies, we go back to Demi Moore. She's like, okay, what's going on? Feeling weird, seeing some notes in the house from the night before. And she like looks at something, and she sees her finger, which looks decayed and like withered, and looks like she's like probably 100 years old.
Looks like Auntie Ethel's finger.
Yes. It looks straight up like a hag goblin finger. Yeah. And she starts to freak out. She starts to see that these are the repercussions for taking too much. And this is where I was also like, I don't really necessarily feel that you are the same person anymore inside that other body. Like there's definitely a disconnect, and I was like, there's no way you're the same person. Like that's the same person. Like, you cannot convince me that you're. I when she started taking more, yeah. So anyway,
yeah, we'll talk about that one.
Which also, I was also like, why don't you go to the hospital? Like at least get it checked out, see what you could do, or chop it off or something. Get rid of the finger, do something with the finger. The finger looks really gross and nasty. There was a guy who approached her in the very beginning of the movie who was like an old school friend. His acting was horrible, but I don't know if that was part of the movie or not. But he was like, oh, you look so beautiful, you know, even though she was old and withering. But she had her finger. She was all messed up, but she was still doubting herself. But she still wanted to believe that she was still something in her older. Elizabeth wanted to still believe something. So she was like, you know what? Maybe I should give that guy, old school friend, a call and go on a date. So she plans this big thing, gets this date going. And on the night, she starts to get ready. She dolls herself up, looks at the picture of herself as Sue, sees that she can never be back to being that beautiful. So she takes off her makeup or changes something, constantly changes back and forth, ready to go on the date, doubles back, goes in and changes.
It's back. A heartbreaking scene. Like, honestly,
that was one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie.
It was done so well.
Yeah,
it was done
so bad for her.
Yeah, no,
I did anyway.
Yeah,
I did. I was like, you're dumb. I was like, just fucking go on this date. Like you're done.
Sure, but that's her struggle, is that she has these insecurities.
You also glazed over the fact that she met someone that is going what she's going through. And
no, I was gonna end that. I was gonna get to that.
Well, you skipped it.
Did it happen before that?
Yes, because he said to her, "Oh, has she already started taking your time?"
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was before or after, but yes.
Finger.
Yeah.
She goes to a diner, freaking out after the finger, and then there was the guy who initially told her that she was a perfect candidate for the substance, and he was in his younger form. He had like a.
I also hated that fuck. Oh, as soon as I saw him standing in the room.
Yeah.
Oh, the younger version of himself, the fucking orange version of him. When I saw him, I was like, ew, fuck this guy.
All right, so, but I actually had a problem with the diner scene, because like she's chilling there, and the dude's like, they recognize, or she recognized that he is the man, like he's the old version of his younger self, or perfect self, or whatever. And then he's like, starts I wouldn't say pestering, but he's like, has she started taking more from you? Like genuine questions. She's freaked out, losing her like decaying finger. This is a great person to talk to and figure out what the hell's going on. But instead, she runs away from him. I was like, talk to him. She has no pull through. She can't. She's too indecisive, and I think that's one of her biggest.
Sure, but it's a flaw as human.
Yes, a super flaw. And I was like, dude, just talk to him. You need to figure out what the hell's going on. Your body's like. Okay, what happens if she takes more? What's going to happen? And he could either be like, dude, it's not going to stop, or this or that. I feel like she could have got some type of better information.
She was freaked
from
out.
That guy.
I give her a pass.
Sure, I don't want to give her a pass for running away from that, but
okay, go on.
Treating him like he was a monster. I know the camera kind of tricked you into believing that, but he was just like, hey, this, like everything he was saying, the camera may have been panning close to his face, making him sound creepy, but he's an old man just saying, hey, has she started taking more?
Right, but the camera panning into him, making him look like that. She is. And like, okay, she is sick, one. And two, the camera panning into him, making him look like a monster, it's not for us That's how she's seeing it. So she's freaking
I
out.
get that. But at the end of the day, you should still be like, all right, maybe I should. She never
Yeah,
even
that's
doubled back to
easy
even
for
think
you
about
to
it.
say. It's different
Okay,
for
well,
her.
Then I could still criticize her that she's dumb for that.
Sure. Okay, go on.
That's all I'm saying. I
Okay.
can agree
Okay.
that this goes with it,
Okay.
but I do think
gotta
she was
move
dumb
on.
for that.
Go on.
Yes. Anyway, if this movie could have been like "Make Up Your Mind" is the title or something, but anyway.
Oh my god.
As he's talking about it, it's losing rating points. He's like, you know what? This shit sucked.
Dude, literally, you can't see it. I was like, this movie starting off, I was like, is it sick? I was like, it's 6.5, or is it a 7? Oh, no, it's back to being a 6. Oh, it's a 5.5. Nope, it's a 7. It's an 8. No, it's a 7. And then I was like, dude, it is a 9. And then I settled back to being an 8.5.
That's fine.
So I did go on a roller coaster of rating because I was like, dude, this is crazy. The girls are fighting, lol. But all right. So she starts to like lose it. She's like, fingers are going. She starts to just be depressed and she's sitting at home stuffing her face. When she stuffs her face, this is kind of where I was kind of a question for you guys. When she went back to her younger self, did that actually happen to her, or was that like a nightmare for her younger self?
Nightmare.
So what's the point? Why is she freaking out that she's stuffing her face and just being a slob? What's the big deal?
Okay, so this was my first almost issue with it. Was I thought that with her with Elizabeth stuffing her face, it would affect Sue's body.
Right.
That's what I thought was going to happen. That's not what happened. But Sue's left with the cleanup because she's trying to live a certain lifestyle. She's trying to bring guys back to the house. The house is trashed with food everywhere. So now that makes her look like a certain kind of person that she doesn't want to be portrayed as. So she's left.
Not only that, I also, all I was thinking about was she was getting back at her for her time as well. Now you have to spend all of this time cleaning this up
But does she though? It was shown that she has maids.
I think she cleaned it. Because
you could, but
because the maids
you saw her have maids would be my counter to that argument.
So but it's not just that, it's you are one person. You have to remember, you got to go back to that. So you're both still sharing all this stuff and you're mistreating yourself by doing this.
I still don't see I don't see how that really gets back at the younger version, but that was my first. But
that's fine. Go on.
Anyway, to continue on, she's super slob. The younger version gets upset and was like, you know what? I'm going to start taking more and more. She takes more and more. It comes back. I think after a couple weeks, it was the first time. And then you see when her Elizabeth self, her older self, her body's even more decayed. Her whole leg is decayed, and her head and half her face is decayed. Her hair is white. She calls the place and is like, I want to end this, because they're like, we can give you something to end it all and to end the service of the substance. And she's like, thinks about it, and she thinks about how it would affect her younger self or her.
Nothing reverts back. It just stops.
Nothing reverts back. So she would be stuck looking with these decayed parts. So she was like, you know what? I'm gonna still go through with it, and then just chose not to end the service. So she continues on. She gets super pissed because she's watching her younger self do TV interviews and be all pish poshy. She's on the billboard and she's like, you know what? I'm gonna get back at this this bitch, and I'm gonna start cooking and eating like crazy. Once again, aside from just, I guess, wasting her time, I really don't understand how that truly affects the younger version, but the younger version took offense like crazy. And she said, you know what? Grabbed all of their little jugs and jars and put them right behind her and started pumping all that spinal fluid out and started filling up all those things. And I think next time we see her is 3 months later, right?
Every time she stabbed into her to take more out, the fucking dark mark on her back got worse and worse. It looked so gnarly. It was all pussy and shit. It was gross.
She also I did skip about her making a back room for her area. She finally found somewhere to put the bodies without it being in the way of anything. I think
not explaining the know-how how she fucking knows how to make it.
I think that's where I would say Act 3 truly started for me, at least. I know technically you could argue one way or another, but I'm gonna end it right there because then it really starts to derail. But that whole middle segment, how are you guys feeling about that? Aside from things we already talked about, do you think there's anything else?
Like I said, I feel like you're one person and you're trying to, I don't know. I don't think that there's any disdain for the other one at first, up until like, the older one gets jealous and starts seeing, like you said, with the news interview, when she was seeing like, oh, I did this all on my own type shit, and starts making up like a fake backstory and everything. And she's like, you wouldn't be here without me. And she's like fucking mixing the eggs and they're going all over her face.
And she's shit talking herself. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was great. I was like, oh my God, this is insane. But
the eggs were crazy.
The eggs were crazy. But I don't know. Like I said, I feel like she was stuffing her face just to harm herself. And like I said, you're still one person. Now, I know you were saying that you think that they're two separate people. Now, the way I view this kind of is almost as if it's a drug, right? You can be addicted to it. And that's why she doesn't stop doing it and keeps doing it, because she's addicted to this certain kind of drug. Her younger version of herself, that perfect version, is her high. She's riding that high. And then when she comes back down and is back to the old version of herself, she doesn't want to let that go. She's mad at it, and vice versa. But like, it's almost like you black out. Like, you're still the same person, but you black out, and then memories start maybe to come back. That's the way I viewed it anyway. It's just like, oh fuck, I did this, I did that. And you're mad at yourself for like, okay, well, I'm mistreating myself when I'm my old self. But then when I'm riding this high, nothing else matters except this high of being this perfect being.
I feel like that's, maybe they could have probably done something better there to convey that. But yeah, I more or less would agree with you on that. But yeah, I even wrote down in my notes. I was like, yeah, she definitely no longer the same person after this. I was like, oh, she cooked.
No, she was fucked to begin with. When she came out and like took those months or whatever and became like the old version with the hair and everything, I was like, oh, she's fucked.
Yeah, I was like, how do you not stop that right there? Like, I mean, it's either
addiction.
like that or
addiction. It's the same thing as like when you see like, okay, when you see like someone that's addicted to like meth or something and they're like scratching at their face and everything, when you see, when you're sober and you see that stuff on your mirror, like they see it, it's nothing new to them.
That's true.
They're not going to be like, how did this fucking happen? They know what they're doing, but they still go back to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's an addiction thing.
That's fair. Todd,
I didn't interpret it as drugs at all. I interpret it as they were two different people. Because I was looking at it and I was saying, like, I was literally.
But then why would they keep on reiterating that you're one person?
So you don't go
because
crazy, maybe.
I think that you are two different people, but those two people are still you, if that makes sense. So
it's
that
like a clone,
was
like a hard clone.
Not necessarily. I just think that was her when she was younger. I think that she was that vain. She only cared about herself. She was living that kind of life, and that's how she got to be where she was. And
I don't hate that take. I don't agree with it, but I don't hate it.
That's how I interpreted the entire time. Was like, that's how she was. Like, as a young girl, she was probably very greedy and very self-centered. And yeah, if she was in that position as a child, she would have taken the extra time. And like, it was really, that's how I felt that way every time she came back in, and she was like, before they got into their big fight, and she was just like excited, telling her all this stuff, like, oh my God, I got the cover of Vogue. I'm sorry, I just need one more day. Like, oh, we got this. I'm flying out here, blah, blah, blah. Like, she was excited. She was living that life again. Like, she wasn't experiencing that because when she woke up, they didn't have recollection. So that's why I felt like it wasn't like, yeah, she's high as shit. She's dealing with this stuff, because even when she was on her lows, she was coming back like, wait, what the fuck? What did you do? Why is the house like this? Same thing. Like, wait, why is this helmet in my head? My stuff. And like, I get it. Drugs, memory loss. Like, you're fucking, you're high as shit and you're having an episode, like you're saying. I get that interpretation of it, but I see it as like two different beings. That is like, it's just like teaching a lesson at the end of it. Like, yeah, you wanted this and then you got too greedy, and now look at where you're at. That's kind of how, like, at the end of the day, it was like a real big lesson.
That still can be seen as like a drug thing too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, I'm not saying that it is drugs. I'm just saying that.
And I'm not disagreeing with it. I just didn't interpret as,
and like, vice versa. The same to you.
Yeah.
You know,
so yeah, no, but the scene with her crying in the mirror, that shit was crazy, because I even said it.
Which was that scene again?
When she was
getting ready,
about to go out on the date.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's
Go
about to go
back.
meet Fred and whatnot. And I'm watching this happen and I'm like, damn, even when she's in her body, this girl is taking time from her still. And Anne was like, what do you mean? I was like, she just went to go close the door. She was ready. She good to go. She went to go close the door and then she looked and stared like, damn, I want to look more like that. I want to be that right now. And she went back to the mirror, 5 more minutes, makeup, changing her outfit. And then she's like, okay, I'm good. Walked out. And then she saw the, either the billboard or her old version. She's like, no, still isn't right. And then she goes back in and then she's looking at the clock. 10 minutes have gone by. And then another. Yeah. And she's just like losing it. And then
I felt so bad for her at that thing.
So bad. And that's what I was saying. Like, it was very wild to see that happen right after the guy said, oh man, has she started taking more from you? Because first we thought taking more was just going to be the finger. Like, oh, she can take as much as she wants from you when she's up and awake. But now she's not even up and awake and she's still taking your time from you. Like, you're losing days whether you're sleeping or you're losing days whether you're awake, just mentally going through it because of this woman.
Mm-hmm.
And said it's like the whole time you want Elizabeth to realize she's worth something, but she never does. Exactly.
So here's
my frustration for sure.
Here's the crazy thing about that, right? Anne said that, and that's as a woman. I can't speak for Anne. I know Todd would experience this more than I would, but I know a lot of guys experience this with their own significant others. A woman can acknowledge that. You want her to realize that she's worth something. Like when she first got ready, everyone can agree she looked great, right?
Great. I even said that. I was like, you look great. And then she went back and put on the makeup. I was like, and now you look worse.
Right. Like, here's the thing is that, like, women do this. They like, a woman can get ready and you could be like, oh my God, you look great. And then something can just trigger it. And she's like, no, I need to go change it. I don't want to wear this outfit. I need to change my makeup. And it's like, but you look great. You look great. You don't need to keep making this change. So while Anne acknowledges that she looked great, like maybe Anne doesn't see that in herself, like maybe like when you guys are about to go out, you'll be like, you look great. And she'll be like, I don't like this. I need to go change this.
Every time.
Something that exactly. They can acknowledge it when it's happening to another woman, but when it's themselves, they refuse to believe it, which is exactly what was happening with her character.
Yes.
It's no matter who could have said, you look great, you look amazing, let's go out. It didn't look right to her. And it was just heartbreaking that no matter what she did, it was never good enough. And then she just ended up staying home and didn't even go out with dude. And it was like, that fucking sucks.
And said, yes, that is so true.
It sucks. And I felt so fucking bad for her. I was heartbroken for this lady. That shit fucking sucked. I felt terrible for her.
I did laugh at the point where she smeared her makeup, and I was like, "Oh no, she's gonna turn into the Joker now." Because it just perfectly went like that.
Yeah,
it's like it's a new origin story. But yeah, no, it's that it was very heart-wrenching to see all of that lead up to that point, because yeah, you want to be excited for her going through all of that stuff again, like that dichotomy of her coming back again. Oh my God, we got the cover of Vogue. Like, she was excited to tell her unconscious self that, like, it was, you had that sort of balance there, but she was still taking from it the entire time. So that's how I felt like that was her. She was vain in the beginning, walking down that entire aisle of all of her pictures. She fucking loved that shit,
But see, I didn't think of it as like she came in excited to tell Elizabeth that they got Vogue. I saw it as like, oh, I got Vogue, so this is why I need to do this, and you're going to be cool with it because this is what we're doing.
And more so convincing herself,
right? Convincing herself that this is like she needs that validation. This is why I'm doing this, because this great thing just happened. This great thing just happened. So you're cool with this because you wanted this to happen.
Yeah.
It's
again, that makes sense.
It's still riding that high to an even further point.
We're moving on to the final act.
Yes, sir.
The greatest part of the movie.
It was, absolutely. It's what saved this movie for me for sure. So
I wouldn't say saved, but just elevated it. But go on.
Anyway, so we're going in the final act. Her younger self took a ton of her fluid out. To the point where she got to the last bit and it was just this black little liquid. I thought she was going to inject that stuff with her. I was like, oh, but she
that was
didn't.
rough.
She called. She's like, I need more. And the guy was like, you needed to respect the balance. She's like, well, how do I get more? He's like, you need to go back in your other body so it can rejuvenate the fluid.
Yeah.
And I was like, in my mind, I was like, she's just gonna die, probably go into her body and just be dead. Didn't think she'd actually become waking up from that, which she did. And my God, am I happy she did. That transformation was crazy. I was not expecting it. I was like, yo, she's getting up. She's full on goblin mode. She's hunched over. The practical effects, once again, the fact that they
fucking
went into
when
that.
she opened the door and the titty was on her fucking arm. Oh my God.
Naked.
Oh, mind you, the
Hunchback.
younger version had a guy over at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's racing to close the door, and you're hoping that he doesn't see her, but she does. Yeah. She gets the door closed, but then she sees herself. She's bald. She looks totally like just straight up this hunchback goblin-looking creature, decaying body. It looks so rough. It was crazy the way they did that.
It's reminiscent of the Barbarian.
Yes, yeah, actually.
Yeah.
So she freaks out, rightfully so.
Yeah,
she goes, she calls, she's like, I want this done. I do not want it. She called the service. She's like, this is 503. I need to terminate it. I'm not doing this anymore. This is the final straw. Give me the stuff. He's like, the package has been delivered. So she has to go pick it up from that same drop spot. She gets herself ready. This is when I was like, all right, this shit's getting crazy good.
Yes.
Elevation. As she was getting out of the bathroom, she was like falling over and being like all like frail and stuff. And I was like, oh, she's frail. No. It was turned into an agile goblin. I was cracking up.
Yes, Derek mentioned it. The way she grabbed the girl before she even got ready and dragged her across the fucking house. You just see oh my God.
So yeah, she gets full on goblin mode, gets dressed and goes out. She's like running, and she's just running to this place. She's all covered, just full on running. She's running fast too. I was like, yo, like she's going hard. She gets the stuff. It's a black liquid she needs to inject into her.
It just says
self.
terminate.
Yeah. It visibly says terminate, and that's important for a later reason, because she goes through with it, and as she's pumping this stuff into her first she drags her body out into the living room, which was hilarious because she makes sure that head hit every fucking step going down the way. And she's doing it fast too. She's
flying.
She's
flying.
I was not expecting. I was like, this goblin lady just going hard. She's pumped. All right, so it gets back to the part. She's thinking about it. She boom puts it right in the chest, starts to pump this liquid in. Halfway in, starts thinking about all the opportunities her younger self's had, and was like, I can't take this away from her. So I was like, I was like, this is what I was like, make up your fucking mind. This whole time movie, I'm like, just make up your mind, I get it's her character, but anyway, that's my struggle. I was just you don't have you never pull through with anything. You just do everything and you double back. And I was like, stop doubling back. But anyway, she stops and she's like, all right, I need to wake her up. And I don't know why she was trying to wake her up without anything. She's like, come on, wake up. Clearly not going to work. But she has the bright idea to plug herself back in to switch bodies with herself, which I was like, that's a risky bit. You could be going into a dying body right there.
That's literally what I was thinking.
Does it? And then like halfway through the process, or like right when it like hits, because she already pumped that stuff into it, somehow miraculously makes both bodies sentient. So now she's face to face with her more perfect self, and it's sentient, looking right back at her.
Crazy.
She's like, what the hell's going on? Looks to the ground. This is why it's important that it said terminate. She sees that she tried to terminate her. It said terminate, half used, and it was already
used. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she starts screaming at her. And this part, I was like, dude, guys, just talk, say something, just talk. But it was just screaming and yelling and chasing each other. I was like, you guys like, I was just trying to do something. I feel like you just gotta say something, some kind of communication.
There's no words that was gonna diffuse that
I don't even care. I just
situation.
wanted to see her at least try to get something out, but she didn't even try to justify anything. She just ran, locked herself in the bathroom. And this is when I was like, oh, her younger self is a super soldier.
Yes,
bro.
Yes.
Oh, even before she went to the bathroom, though, she hit her with a flying knee. I was sent. Dude. Boom. She gets flies back, hits the big ass fucking picture. She runs to the bathroom. She runs to the bathroom, locks herself in. Her younger self's kicking the door, and I'm like, okay. She starts to move a sink in front of it. Boom, super strength, right? Kicks that door open, hits her on the ground. A lot of this movie is things just keeps on going on. It just kept on going on.
Real quick. At this moment, So Haley told me the ending screams Derek, right? She was like, "You're gonna love this movie. The ending is so dope." This is what I thought
Was
the
ending.
peak of the movie when
Yes.
she fucking grabs the old one and bashes her
Dude,
fucking
she
face
was
in.
grabbing her older self and just smashing the face in nonstop. And I was like, okay, this is
mirror.
where she kills her. No,
Yeah.
because this movie just keeps on going with this shit. I
Of
was like,
course.
she takes her out into the living room. She stands up, looks at herself. Once again, no words. Her younger self. This is where
The
she
fuck-
Spartan kicks the ever living shit
From
out of her.
hell.
Bird
And
kicks
this is
the
where she
shit out of
truly
her,
flies
dude.
across the room. And I was
Yeah.
like,
30 feet.
When she Sparta kicked her, I was like, "This is one of the greatest movies of all time."
I was like, this is amazing right here. And then she's looking, staring down at her bloodied up, beat up older self, and then she just starts kicking, and it's her side. She's kicking her side, and blood's just spraying. And at first, I would have an issue with this if I just didn't see all of her super soldier feats beforehand, because I was like, kicks to the side like that? That's the way they're gonna go out. But dude, her kicks to the side, dude, that's just
You know, if I had a
Crazy.
gripe with that movie, do you know what it would be?
what's that?
The fact that she Sparta kicked her 30 feet prior to that, and none of those super kicks moved her body at all when she was on the ground.
That's a good
Yeah, I
point.
guess.
That's actually a
She
good
was
point.
like, not moving with that
Okay, well,
first
maybe-
Sparta
maybe
kick.
she wasn't kicking it as
Oh,
hard.
I have no. I'm.
Oh, she's
I don't
clearly
care.
kicking it.
I don't care. I really don't care. Again, like I said, any problem I had with this movie, once we got to the fucking third act,
None of it mattered.
there were no gripes, because I was like, oh, that's the kind of movie this is. I'm
So-
okay with it.
She kills her older
Shit,
self.
I'm listening. I gotta go grab something. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So Sue kills Elizabeth. She's now just in her younger self, has nothing to sustain herself. So she's just in this younger body that's eventually gonna basically wither away. So she got a big gig to do a New Year's Eve special on live television. So she's getting ready for that, has her big day coming up, getting all dressed up, has a nice big blue dress, getting all ready for it. They're doing all like the pre-shoots, making sure everything looks good. Everyone's all excited. Her manager dude, who's a piece of shit, is all excited. Then she
Dennis
feels
Quaid played a
off.
fucking great character in that movie.
Yeah, he did.
His
Yeah, he did. He
character
played the
was
perfect
great.
piece of shit.
Yes,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
great. Don't forget to smile.
Yes.
Yeah, what do you say? Pretty girls always smile. or
Pretty,
something like that?
yeah, pretty girls should always smile.
Smile. Yeah. So yeah, it was gross. But so she's going to the New Year's Eve special, feeling off. Obviously, she can't sustain herself anymore. So she goes in the bathroom, is like looking in the mirror, and her tooth fell off, and it was gross. And I was like, oh damn, because then she goes and she starts pulling another tooth that just feels.
I was
loose.
like, why? I don't care
Right.
if they're loose, man. Keep it
Put
in
the
there.
other one back in.
Right.
But she, and clearly at first I would have argued that until you start seeing how fast she started to fall apart, because then
Yeah.
shortly after her ear falls off. But yes, she's falling apart. She gets met
Worst
with
part in
the-
that whole movie was the fingernail. I'm good with all shit, but once she lost that fingernail,
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
I forgot about that
"Ah!"
actually.
Yeah. Fingernails, man. I don't fuck
So,
with that shit.
How'd you forget about
Brutal.
the fingernail?
Completely lost her like teeth for her smile, and her boss is coming into the hallway after she's out done with the bathroom with a bunch of like
Get off here,
sponsors
huh?
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, why don't you give us a smile?" And she's like panicking, and she's like, and I was like, "Oh damn!" So the thing running through her head while she's falling apart is, I can reactivate. There's still some activated fluid, even though it says activate once and then throw it away, discard it. You can only ever activate once. She's thinking about going back there because she's like, it'll give me back a perfect self. Give me back a perfect self.
She's like, I just want a perfect version of myself.
Yeah. So she goes back home. She gets that thing and she injects it into herself. And this was amazing, dude. I was like, is it gonna cause like a bunch of different versions? Is she gonna like turn into a gremlin and pop out a bunch of them? I was like, how is this gonna go? Because like the way it starts mutating is like,
I was thinking
Crazy.
it was gonna be a baby
oh,
because it's supposed to be a younger
Mm.
version of yourself. I was like, is it gonna be like a child? Like,
What I thought was gonna happen was gonna be another perfect form, and then it was gonna treat her the same way she was treating Elizabeth. That's what I thought.
all that being said,
All three of us were wrong.
were prepared for what
Yeah.
actually happened.
yeah. I was
Monstro
like,
Elizasu.
Yes, Monstro Elizabeth is the name they gave this new abomination because it's truly an abomination. I was not
And this is
expecting
the
to see
true
it.
start of Act 3.
Yes, and this is technically where activity starts. I just wanted to start back there because a lot of crazy shit
Yes,
led up.
It's so beautiful.
And this was insane. I was like, dude, no way. I was like, this is great because it's all practical effects again. A huge win for practical effects in the makeup department of this movie because man, did they go above and beyond. But as she's this big abomination creature, she's still like looking in the mirror and being delusional that I can make it. I can make it all work.
Yeah.
Bro, the fact that she puts the dress on.
I was like, what is she gonna do? I was like, is she just gonna like? I was like, do you just off yourself at this point when you're like that lost? Like, what's
That's
next?
what I thought was gonna
and
happen.
then I saw the fluff of the dress, and I was like,
I literally said when she walked out of the room, and I was like, no fucking way she puts on the dress. No fucking way she puts on the dress. And then you see it, I was like, yes, I love where this is going. I was so happy.
Rewatch that whole scene. I'm not joking. I was crying of laughing so hard. I was not expecting this. This was some of the funniest shit I've ever seen.
A boob out of the
Oh my god!
The fucking
the way she
arm
kind of like put it over. The face with the mouth going
and she covers it up. Oh yeah.
The earring on the top of her head.
The earrings killed me. And then the way she did the little fucking dingle, I was like, no way.
She came up with the curling iron with the little strand of hair. I was like,
it came off. Yes, I said it to Anne. I'm sorry, Adam. I don't want to keep cutting you off.
Go. No, good.
And once we got to the end, I was like, I have been smiling for the last 45 minutes of my life. I was crying. Once Eliza Stu happened, it was nothing but a big ass cheesy smile on my face until the end of the movie.
I was legit crying. I couldn't stop laughing.
Yes.
I did not, because it just kept on going. This movie, when it hits these highs, it just keeps on going. You think it's going to be done and wrapped up? No, it just keeps on going. Yep. And especially with this final act, everything you think that was ending just keeps on going. You thought her dolling herself up as the abomination is where it stops, but it just kept on going because she goes, fuck this. I'm going to take the picture of my original self of Elizabeth Sparkle. And she super glued it to her face and she cut out little eye holes and she put makeup on it. And I was like, I was in tears crying that this is the end product we got of her prepared to go out on stage for the New Year's Eve party. No way this was the pull through. I'm so happy it was because my jaw was dropped. Tears were in my eyes and I kept on laughing. I could not stop laughing. This was the funniest, craziest thing ever. I was like, what am I experiencing right now? This is where I was like, the movie's a 9. The movie's a 9. I was like, this is so great.
That's probably where I was like, it's an 8 or a 9 for me too. Yeah. And then the ending just cherry on top, man.
Yeah, she goes in. I'm gonna skip past some of these parts, but it was big on her psyche. She's delusional, thinking people are greeting her and excited to see her. But we make it to where they're doing the New Year's Eve thing live. One of my weird things, live with a bunch of nude women on stage.
That's exactly what Anne said. She's like, this is live and there's tits out.
And there's kids in the audience. I was like,
this is where I noticed. You guys were talking about how there's no smartphones, but this is where I never really thought about any of that stuff with the technology going into the movie. I was just like, whatever with it. But this, when it was live and tits were out and kids were in the audience, I was like, oh, this is a whole different world on its own. This is
absolutely
disassociated from us.
And so you have everybody ready to perform. Her old manager's still expecting to see her come up on stage. He's all giddy. He's like, oh, I worked really hard to make her sure she's like as perfect as can be. And she walks out slow as hell. I was like, people aren't reacting to it. Like the delayed reaction was hilarious in itself.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
At first I was like, why not? But then I was like, okay. She goes out on stage. The spotlight hits her. She's on the microphone. And it's nothing. Everyone's just quiet. Yeah. Everyone's just watching her like. And she's like, I'm so happy to be here, or something like that. And everyone's like, what the heck? Then the mask of the picture of herself falls off her face, and everyone can see the abomination, right? And everyone's still like, what the heck? Until one lady stands up.
It's after 10 seconds of silence. It's a long amount of silence of them just like looking at her.
That happens too. while she's on stage, before anybody even says anything, she starts to puke up out of one of her mouth eye things right here.
Oh, the titty! I forgot about that.
Starts and a boob just comes out of this mouth on the side of her head.
It just
And it's like it's like a testicle boob because it's like connected and the way it hangs and is so gross. It was so hilarious. I was like, what the hell? And after that happens, and even after that happens, there's a little couple seconds of silence. And then out of nowhere, a woman stands up and goes, ah!
The yelling when she stood up and just started doing that fucking typical yell that you just hear in the background of like fucking crazy shit happening. I was like, no fucking way. And then they all just started coming in, just monster! Oh, it's a fucking monster! Oh
Shoot
my
the monster!
Oh, it was great.
They're like, pop the bubble.
And then they just went up on stage and just started pushing her.
Monster! And they start pushing her, and everyone's freaking out. There's panicking, right? Everybody's running away. Some dude runs up there with a mic stand and fucking clears her head, and her head explodes in a gory explosion of beautifulness. I was like, yes! And she's still alive because another head starts to regenerate out of that. I was like, this movie is amazing right now. And after that, her arm pops off, and then it becomes a Gwar concert, and they don't even try to hide that.
I literally,
which is so great because this is exactly what I told everyone. I was like, this is what Gwar. I'll tell you about Nick's text later. Go on.
Oh, I glanced past one of the parts. Like I said, there was a bunch of like nude ladies on stage.
Mm-hmm.
But when she puked out the boob is when the mother covered the daughter's eyes in the crowd. I was like,
yeah.
Okay. Fast forward back to where we were. Arm falls off, blood spraying absolutely everywhere. They had probably a crazy budget for gallons of blood because the whole room got soaked with blood, and it's just she's spinning around, going spinning around, and there's just blood just spraying everywhere. She's like a sprinkler.
There's
of blood.
fucking heavy metal music playing. People are
that's where I was like, they're not trying to hide it. They start just busting out heavy metal music as all this blood's going everywhere. I was like, this is great.
that scene was where I was like, yeah, this is why Derek wanted us to watch that movie. But it's so metal, it's so brutal, just everyone getting fucking showered with the blood. It's great.
It was beautiful.
So then she ends up making it out of there. She runs away, and her body cannot sustain itself any longer. Completely falls off, explodes into a pile of just blood and gore and body parts and stuff. And like I said, with this movie, in the third act especially, it just kept on going because it didn't even stop after her body completely exploded into a mess of just gore. To end it all off, she becomes like a starfish of skin just crawling on the ground because she's still
the face that was on her back,
her original face as Elizabeth Sparkle. And it's so beautiful how it ends because you see her Hollywood star. It says Elizabeth Sparkle, and how it ends at the very end is her starfish self crawls its way directly on top of it, and then that's where it finally decays and ends, right?
And like a power washer goes over it,
and a power washer cleans it up.
And it was like symbolic because that's how it started too, was with the pizza or something being dropped on, and he wipes up the ketchup. That was it was such an experience. I was not expecting that, honestly, Derek. I was like, dude, he's gonna lowball me here. And I was like, dude, this is a movie I would actually buy. The only downside is that it was almost 2.5 hours. It does kind of suck that it was that long, but I'm so happy it got to where it was. And that's like, I'm not going to rag on it too hard for that. But I honestly think that length is the only reason I didn't give it a higher score.
So I told Nick to watch it, our older brother, and he shot me a text and he was like, The Substance? What the fuck? Why is this movie so good? And we started talking about the ending, and I was like, dude, that ending, like, for anyone that hasn't been to a Gwar concert, that ending of her arm getting cut off and spraying blood everywhere, that's a Gwar concert. Go listen to fucking metal music and just people getting limbs cut off and fake blood sprayed all over the crowd. That's it. That's the best visual I can give you, is the ending of The Substance.
I literally said that. And I was like, this is a fucking Gwar concert. And literally, as soon as I said that, that's when the heavy metal came in. And I was like, no fucking way. Like, here we go. This is amazing. Like,
well, I said that to Nick, and Nick was like, oh, is that who was playing the metal music? And I was like, oh, I think so, but there's just metal music that was
That
playing.
would have been
It would have been
very smart
if
on
it
their
was
end.
Guar, that would have been hilarious. That would
Yeah.
have been so fucking funny. But
no, yeah, this movie was a fucking 10 out of 10, man. And said, I just love that Demi Moore and Dennis Quaid read this script and said, "Yep, I'm in."
For
Yeah.
real, honestly though, like
yeah,
that's huge.
It was so great.
It was a fucking cinematic. It was perfect. This movie should have been called The Perfection.
Yeah, no, honestly, I'm with you on that.
I agree. It was so good. I want everyone to watch it. I told a coworker to watch it. She fucking loved it. Her boyfriend loved it. I want everyone to watch this movie.
Do you guys want to add anything more into that final act, or is it pretty much?
Nah, you hit the nail on the head. And we kind of like added our own little stuff to it.
Yeah,
as
no,
we
just
watched it.
again when the fucking arm came off and she was spinning in the blood. That was just and again, I said it when I watched the movie. I said it to you guys, but maybe even a little bit before Elizabeth Sue, whatever the monster happened, Monstro, whatever the fuck. I literally said it. I was like, I haven't stopped smiling for like the last 45 minutes of my lifetime. Yeah. It was so fucking great.
For me, that moment was when they both woke up. Like, I mean, I liked the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right when they both woke up, I was like, oh fuck, what's gonna happen here?
Yes.
And then when she started beating the knee, the Sparta kick, the bashing her face in the mirror, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. This is what Haley was talking about. Yep. Not what Haley was talking about. But,
see, and all of that stuff made the movie great because again, in the beginning, I was like, all right, this is bullshit. How does she know how to do this? How does the other person know how to do this if they're not sharing the same thoughts and whatnot? You have all the know-how to go in there and be Elizabeth Sparkle as the new girl, but you've never done any of this before. But again, all of that was out the window when it became a fairy tale at the end. I was like, oh, this is just like, that kind of movie. Nothing makes sense, and that's perfect.
Well, right. But like what I figured that whole thing was with her knowing how to make that wall and that room and everything. Again, it's not a younger version of herself. I mean, it is younger, but like that's not what she looked like when she was younger. You know, like no one was
no.
It's the most perfect version of you that's just like, you know, basically super fucking human. She was kicking the fucking shit out of her. She's beautiful. She knows how to do this, that, and the other. Like she just had the know-how because she's a superhuman.
Yeah.
That's how I view that.
Man, I was so excited after I finished this movie. I wish I could have talked to you guys right away, but I was like, I know we got to save it for the podcast.
Oh, I was waiting. I was on pins and needles.
I'm happy you guys thought I would dislike it because I was like, I'm sure they're gonna be pleased to hear.
There was an inkling of me that was like, okay, this movie is so far out of the left field that Adam will probably like it because it's like fucking what's the movie that you guys love? The ninjas and the aliens. It's like that.
Right.
That's different.
That's fair. But I guess.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just something that's like so fucking
right.
far-fetched and outlandish that it's like, oh, it's like so bad that it's good.
I wouldn't say this is so bad that it's good.
And I understand that because this is like an actual like great quality of the movie and whatnot. But that's what I'm saying. Like seeing something that again at the end of it makes no sense. This movie was fucking crazy for no reason.
It was crazy.
It was great.
I wholeheartedly thought Adam was going to hate it. If there was any part of me that thought he would like it, it wouldn't have been a fucking 8.5. I thought the highest rating you would give it is like, at my most optimistic, I thought you would have given it like a 5.5 or a 6 and been like, oh, the ending was crazy, but everything leading up to it was garbage, you know?
Man, I was so excited. I was like, I got to run to social media. I got to see what people are saying about this movie. The first dude I see, I click on it, and I was like, just rolling my eyes. Like, as a man, I don't think I have any right to really talk about this movie. I was like,
why?
What?
And he's like, because this movie is disgusting and gross. It is great, and it deserves a standing ovation, but it's disgusting and gross, and it's as disgusting as society treats women's bodies. And I was like, it's like, my fucking God, can we enjoy something?
You can still enjoy it. I like I just said, I understood that, like the whole scene with her getting her makeup and everything, that how hard that is for a woman, but like you can, as a man, you can still watch it and appreciate it.
Yeah. And
I said in the beginning, the movie is art.
Yes, I feel like the art outweighs some of these things as far as what you would want to
Absolutely.
talk about the movie. Yes, those things are there, but man, I looked up the director.
To say you can't give an opinion on it is crazy.
Bargetta, or I'm butchering the name, but yes, shout
Mm.
out to her. Amazing to go this
A
far to
great
take this
example of that is half of that movie. Yes, we said it in the beginning. Half of that movie is nudity and sexual like graphicness to where like
I mean,
all
how
of,
long was the fucking workout video when she
exactly.
was the younger version?
And that's what I'm
Holy
saying. And
shit.
we didn't touch up on that once because that's how like insignificant it was
Yeah,
in the movie.
exactly.
That was just like
Yeah.
part of the art of the movie. Like
And
it was
like an over sexualized scene.
yes.
Yeah, the director absolutely killed it.
No,
I
it was
butchered her name,
fantastic.
Corrali or something like that.
Yeah.
It was a
her name-
woman director too.
It was a
Someone
woman
told me that
director.
a woman directed
Like,
that
dude,
movie.
absolutely, and isn't it such a risk? We don't see movies that take risks like this anymore.
No.
And I'm so happy it did, and I'm so happy those big name actors jumped in to take this risk. Like, yeah, Douglas Quaid had to play this complete
Dennis.
asshole,
Dennis.
or Dennis, my bad. I don't know what I said that. Oh yeah, Dennis Quaid actually had to play this complete asshole, jerk, disgusting dude, and he was like, "Fuck yeah, I'll rock it," you know. And then Demi
The
Moore.
fact that they gave her a cooking book as a fucking goodbye
Yeah, dude,
gift
that was so
crazy.
foul. And Demi Moore, dude, the fact that she did all this, the fact that she was okay with being like that, and the fact that she got into those suits and did all those, the fact that both her and the other girl got into that final abomination suit was hilarious and great.
Yeah, so
Like,
good.
and the way the direction was, like we talked about, there's some of the more notable things is where how the direction changed when you started off with her more miserable life. It's kind of like a slow, but like keeps you well in, but differently paced. And then you get back to her younger self. It's more poppy. It's more fast and more, you know, it really makes you feel different when you're in different.
Yeah.
each
Yeah,
different body.
watching it, I didn't really notice that until you said it, and I was like, "Oh shit!" That it was filmed ever so slightly different whenever
Yeah,
she was younger.
that's how I noticed it. I didn't notice it like that, but I noticed it like again when she was Elizabeth. That's when you saw like the cameras and the crazy angles because that's again how she was seeing the guy. That's how I interpreted her psyche. Like, yeah, she was physically seeing him as like this crazy thing. That's how she's seeing all of life. But yeah, the other version saw it as like, ooh, everything's perfect. Everything's fucking square and beans and we're all fucking good to go, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so fun. It was a fun movie. That was
Well, I'm glad you guys liked it because
No,
I mean, like I
that
said,
shit
it
was
it
phenomenal.
didn't offend me that y'all didn't like Longlegs because it's like that's your own opinion. I liked it. Y'all don't like it. That's fine. But it is nice to hear that you guys liked this because I was super excited about this one.
And then the other thing I want to talk about, ever since I've watched it, I've been getting like stuff on my For You page about it. And one of the fun things people have been doing is taking celebrity lookalikes and saying, "Oh, they took the substance." They'll take like this actress, this younger looking actress, like that's her substance version.
That's
And
hilarious.
I'll have to send you some videos or post it up, but like,
Yeah.
it's been pretty funny to see the comparisons people have been drawing into our own reality just for fun.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But yeah, oh man, we really were on that for a while. But yeah, that's that was our thoughts on the substance. We did a really in-depth breakdown of like pretty much the whole movie.
Yeah, it was great.
You need to going into it, like to
You
explain.
really-
like,
You know
how
why?
our
You know we
opinions
need to. So now when somebody doesn't want to watch it, they'll just watch this video instead and be like, "I got my judgment off of it."
are. I'd
2 hour
rather they
video. I'm
watch the
joking.
movie.
Yeah,
I'm
watch
joking.
the
Relax,
movie.
guys.
Watch.
No, you're not. There's a part of you that's like, I hope they do.
No. No, that one is a
No,
spectacle.
he'll
You absolutely
release
need
it
to
as a
watch
long form content. Our review on.
Well, I probably should, but like I
Do
don't.
this instead of watching the
I don't think it'd
movie
be the
to form
point-
your opinion.
I think people would probably want to
Watch
watch
this
it who've seen
before
it.
you watch the substance.
I think people would actually genuinely want to see or hear maybe our reactions. Like, oh yeah, I did see the movie. Okay, I'm gonna hear what part they're talking about. Oh, okay, they're doing it in this way.
Sure. After you watch the movie.
Yeah. No, I'm 100% okay with it. The movie's a spectacle and it's an art form, like you said, Todd. Definitely deserves it.
Yeah.
It's a cinematic masterpiece. Like from beginning to end, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
It's so good. I'm glad you guys liked it.
Damn, I have some other things I want to talk about, but we really pushed the time on this. I mean, I could save some of these for next week.
For sure. Next week will be our Thanksgiving episode.
Thanksgiving, it sounds like we're all good and groovy for that.
Yeah, I ain't got shit going on Thanksgiving, so I will be here.
We're gonna move towards
I don't have
wrapping this
shit
up,
going
right?
on all day.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do the switch to the other topic. Okay, since we're done with the movies. All right, so this is just our other kind of wrapping things up, kind of disclosing what we're going to be doing. Like we said, next week we'll be here on Thanksgiving. I think Thanksgiving night will all be good and clear to actually be here and like have a discussion.
Oh yeah.
With that being said, really quick, just really wanted to quickly touch on some of these things. They don't really need to deserve a huge long segment, but the things I wanted to quickly touch upon were How to Train Your Dragon. They had the teaser trailer get released and the behind the scenes footage, along with the other movie that was oops. Sorry. Anyway, was Moana live action got leaked, some of their photos. You see the Rock dressed
I saw the picture of the Rock. Yeah.
So that was crazy. How to Train Your Dragon. A lot of people are complaining for several reasons, but two of the
How do
big
you
ones,
feel about it, Adam? You excited about it?
there's a good point when people talk about it. Like, what is the point of making it's going to be like 80% animated anyway, right? CGA versus regular animation.
Sure.
Well, okay. I'm excited though. The set pieces look really good. The characters look really good. The big elephant in the room that everyone goes for is Nico Parker as Astrid. Her character's Astrid is they're all Vikings, and she is I don't know if she's mixed or whatnot, but she is more light skinned, but she is a African American woman. So that has definitely caused a lot of people to get up in arms for dumb reasons. Because because they just wanted to stick with the character design. Some people were like, oh, you're complaining about that, but not complaining that Fish Legs is not blonde and a brunette instead, which I agree. Fish Legs should be a blonde dude. But I'm not going to throw a fit about it. Her character, as long as she's doing good acting, I don't care. But I do almost feel like these people are put into positions where it's the studio choosing to do so just for outrage. Like, I'm going to get this person so we can get some outrage and get some people talking about our movie. I feel like a lot of that does happen, but as long as she does good, I have no issue.
I think that some people are very fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's fair.
The hate for her for casting her to play that character is beyond ridiculous.
Well, right, but you always get those stupid outrage, and I think that's the thing that bothers me. Is like I feel like sometimes these studios might be doing some of that shit on purpose just to get that outrage, which is not fair to the actress.
Or she just did a better job than everyone else.
That's fair too.
No, I know. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying for the people that hate it, the people that say that they're doing this for a fucking agenda or whatever. I'm not saying there is no agenda. All I'm saying is people jump to that instead of just thinking, hey, maybe this actress nailed the fucking role. And that's fair. Why is that so hard to accept? But no, they have to make it this whole fucking race thing and complain about historical accuracies with Vikings when it's a fucking movie about dragons. It really fucking bothers me.
But other than that, that was just the behind the scenes things I wanted to talk about. We had glimpses at those, and we had a little teaser trailer from How to Train Your Dragon. I'm excited to see it. I love the soundtrack, love the acting, or love the not acting, but love the well, I guess they have voice acting, but love those characters. They're great. I watched the shows and I watched the movies. I actually wasn't a fan of the last movie, so
really,
probably not. Yeah,
damn.
And the first quick How to Train Your Dragons 1 and 2, one of the big takeaways is we can coexist with dragons. And then the message of the last one is, oh, we got to give up our dragons because it's the right thing to do. It's like, why are you guys going against the message of the first two movies? Like totally doubled back.
If you love something, let it go, Adam.
That was the whole point of the second movie. It was like, you gotta let it go, but it's like, no, we can actually coexist together. And it was like you go on this huge speech of how humans and dragons can live peacefully together, and then like at the end of the third movie, it's like, actually, never mind, we can't. And it's like,
yeah, I've only seen
sometimes
the first
you're
movie,
wrong.
I think maybe I've seen the second one. I don't remember. What I will say though is the CGI for the dragon looks really good.
It was right on the money. Like that's what another issue. Like I'm saying, people are saying it's basically you're getting the same thing because there's going to be so much CGI. You may as well just be watching the animated movie.
Sure, that's fair.
But everyone's doing that nowadays too, right? You got the Lion King and all that, which is basically the same deal.
Like who the fuck asked for Mufasa? That's stupid.
All right. And then we can talk about this next week, but we wanted to bring up how Secret Level's coming out soon, and we can go about
What's that?
that is the
TV show.
with all the video
All the
games.
games.
15 different video games that will be taking an episode each, and we can talk about that next week because we'll be getting closer to the approach of the date.
Is that what
I
you
mean, we
wanted
can
to
even
talk
say it
about
for
in the
the
beginning
follow-
of the episode?
No, with what? Your favorite game?
Yeah.
No, man. The other thing is the other game that's coming out soon, which is Derek's favorite game, is Indiana Jones. We can talk about that when that gets closer about it too.
God, I thought you were serious about like the show with God of War. I don't give a fuck about Indiana Jones. Again,
But yes.
I don't know why that's a thing for me. Like,
I don't know because you get so up in arms against it.
I don't. I just say
You hate it.
It
We
looks
love it.
stupid.
Dude,
Just
he
looks
was
stupid.
so on Indiana Jones that he wanted Dennis Quaid to be played by Harrison Ford in the fucking Substance.
Stupid.
He's so dumb.
All right. It is getting late, guys.
Hell yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed what you guys seen today. If you did, think about dropping a like, giving us a follow, sharing it, commenting. We love to interact with you guys. We love to hear from you guys. Let us know what you guys think. If you guys watched all of it, what do you guys think of the new segment thing that we're trying to roll out here where we kind of like try to organize our thing a little better?
Yeah.
And
A lot of things.
yeah, a lot of things. We'll be posting up more frequently, guys. To you guys, I didn't let you know, but this weekend I'm going to be kind of like flushed. We're celebrating my daughter's birthday. We'll be going to a water park like type hotel for the weekend. So
Oh yeah.
I'll see what I can do as far as posting shorts and whatnot, but no promises. We'll see what we can do. But I'm gonna stay
Well,
aggressive
Alakari?
when I can. No, I'll tell you guys off. But yes, anyway. We got a lot of good things coming. I'm gonna stay persistent, gonna stay posting. Keep an eye out for our shorts, keep an eye out for our TikToks, all the other social medias. And we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for hanging around and chatting with us and viewing our content. We love you guys. We'll catch you guys
We
next
love
week
you
on
all.
Thanksgiving.
Goodbye.
Gobble gobble.